This is Dragons Live.
Minnesota State University Moorhead, WDAY's Extra, and Dragon Athletics are proud to present Minnesota State University Moorhead Dragons football. Tonight, the Dragons are here at home at Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium to take on the Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears. It is overcast, it is breezy, but for now, at least it is dry, but we've got some treats coming for our fans, at least downstairs, not undercover. And good Saturday evening to you. My name is Steve DeStacio, and it's my privilege to be with you. So the Dragons, with all this optimism coming into this season, maybe a little stunned to find themselves at 1-2. So if they want to get to where they really want to go, maybe even aspirations of postseason, they have to start winning, maybe even starting tonight. Let's bring in my partner, Larry Scott. Is that a fact or fiction?
Well, Stephen, I think you're right. It was something of a disappointing getaway for the Dragons this year. Now, admittedly, two of those early games, particularly at Winona State last week and at Augustana, were certainly considered two of the more difficult games in the schedule. But where the Dragons got blindsided was here at home by Southwest Minnesota State.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. You said we weren't stunned by Southwest Minnesota State maybe winning the game, but the fashion in which they did it, maybe even Winona State last week, because the Dragons won the battle. They just didn't win the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I think when you compared on opening day, the Dragons were terrific against Augustana. We had the privilege of being there. Played very well offensively, great defensive effort. Everything came up roses that day, and then the Dragons came home to a club admittedly probably not as good as Augustana. And yet Southwest came in with a little swagger, right? Confidence. Rolled the dice, decided to play one-on-one coverage, did a lot of goofy things, played very well, took control of that game, and that really threw the Dragons, I think, for a little bit of a loop. Last week, played perhaps a little better, but a tough foe on the road at Winona. Now, those two are gone. You know, they can put those in their rearview mirror, and as you mentioned, they need to start winning, and they need to start tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of people say it starts with the defense. It starts with Demetrius Carr offensively. I think it also starts with their gifted wide receiver, Damon Gibson. The pros are just all over Damon Gibson, and his statistics shouldn't surprise anybody.
No, and we talked a lot about all the people who've been here to watch him. Of course, Scott Studwell of Minnesota Vikings himself came up here to watch him. So Gibson is the real deal, and the Dragons will get him the ball, and he'll make plays, no mistake. But here's the other thing. Turnovers. Man, have they haunted the Dragons in the last couple of weeks. 9, I think they had, or something. It was a dreadful performance that way. They've got to eliminate those mistakes tonight.
Damon Gibson, he's certainly in the conversation. Do you believe he's in the top 5?
Boy, he has
all
unique.
time?
Yeah, he has unique skills and talents. I'm convinced now that he's the best that's come through MSU Moorhead, and there have been some other good ones, but a unique kid, and certainly a lot of big days ahead of him yet. He'll get his chance, whether he's drafted, a free agent or something, so he'll have that opportunity, which is kind of neat, and he's going to play a big role the rest of this year, too.
Yeah, those numbers are just eye-popping. He caught his 26th touchdown last season. Let's take a break. When we come back, earlier today I caught up with Dragon head coach Steve Lockway, and we'll see what he has to say about tonight's game. You're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragons football, presented by Dragons Live.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding that bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
Welcome back to Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. Steve DeStacio, Dragon head coach Steve Lockway. And you've told me 3 times, not on television, that your team needed to get off to a good start. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're 0 for 3. Why?
You know what? Last week we had a good start. We got a turnover, and then we turned it back over. So we got to capitalize on the little momentum we get and then build it. So I think we just got to get into playing good football. We're playing sloppy football right now. We got to get back to playing good Dragon football.
I've mentioned on the air boatload of times with Scotty. It's just the talent's there. It's just a matter of your team figuring it out. Is that correct?
Well, I think a lot of it comes with just taking care of the football. 11 turnovers the last 2 weeks is not very good. We're second to the bottom in the entire nation in turnover margin, and if you're doing that, you're not winning football games. So we got to take care of the ball, and if we take care of the ball, we're going to take care of the team and put ourselves in position to win.
You mentioned the number. I knew it, but didn't want to say it in front of you. How do you control them?
Well, you know what? We just got to. Some of it's some freak things, some tip balls, some crazy good plays by the defense. Some of them's on our part, and so we got to control the things we can control. Our emphasis this week was not necessarily on taking care of the ball. We just changed the verbiage, taking care of the team. Because if you don't take care of the ball, you don't take care of the team. So we put kind of a bigger picture on that you hold the fate of your teammates in the hand with that football, and so take care of the ball. We'll take care of your teammates.
One more thing about last week's game. Austin Stone got more involved in the game. You want to get the running game going tonight. I think that's cliche, but where is the running game as far as a matter of importance for tonight?
Well, it gives us rhythm. I think it gets our offensive line into rhythm. It gives us something we can hang our hats onto as a change-up, as a quick play to get us on schedule. And certainly with Herman out last couple of weeks, out again tonight, it's important that we get Austin off to a good start.
Steve DeStatio, Steve Lockway. We're minutes from kickoff here at Alex Nemzik Stadium for tonight's game against Concordia St. Paul. What do the Bears bring to the table offensively?
Well, an extremely athletic quarterback, really good wide receiver. They kind of make plays outside of the designed plays, and those are the ones that are tough to defend. They're tough to prep your guys for. And so we're going to have to just play good, solid football and be disciplined until the whistle blows and not let anybody get out of contain or get out of our eyesight.
Despite the 2 losses, your defense hasn't played that bad, has it?
No, not considering how many times we've turned the football over, put them in difficult situations. I think our defense is playing good football. We're rotating some guys. We're a little bit thin and beat up on both sides of football, but that's a game of football. I think we'll get a good showing out of our defense and our offense tonight.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with more from Shields Field after this. You're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY's Extra. Welcome back to Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. Let's take a look at our Valley Import keys to a Dragons victory. Now, you can talk about those turnovers.
Well, certainly the turnovers really haunted the Dragons last game, and they always do, and I think a couple of ways to prevent that. I'm still a believer some of the Dragons need to get a little more productivity from their running game, right? And they did that a little bit last week, and then they would come up with a fumble. They rip off a couple of big games and fumble, and then eventually you get away from the running game. You throw a lot. You throw under pressure a lot, and suddenly mistakes compound. So I think one remedy, maybe stopping that, is to see if they can get a consistent ground game. They got some injured backs. We know that. The offensive line has been reshuffled a little this week, so there's a few strikes against them. But running the football, I think, is very important.
Win the trenches defensively. What are your thoughts? They haven't gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's beginning of the year they were rotating as many as 12 guys in. I think they've scaled that back a little bit, but I think they feel fully confident tonight that they can put some more heat on the Concordia quarterback. I think that's critical, and I think they can get that done.
The Dragons had 5 sacks against Augustana. They've had 3 sacks in their 2 losses, so the numbers don't lie.
No, and that's what's kind of vexing, isn't it? I mean, that first opening day opponent, solid football team, and they did so many things right, the Dragons, on the road. And then, of course, kind of a drop-off the next couple of weeks. But nothing can disrupt the passing game like pressure on the quarterback, right? The Dragons like their secondary. They think they're in good shape there, but they need a little more heat on the QB.
Should be interesting tonight. Again, the Dragons just looking to go back to basics and play good football. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more from Moorhead. You're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY's Extra.
Mr. Goldman loved his family a lot, didn't he, Dad?
He sure did.
That's why he had State Farm life insurance, like you. So his family never has to worry, right?
Mr. Goldman didn't have life insurance.
Why not?
He's just a goldfish.
Ignore him.
Call State Farm agent David Eggers in Moorhead today so your family won't have to worry about whether you have life insurance.
We put the life back in life insurance.
For expanded regional news, watch something extra. For extended weather coverage, watch something extra. The News at 9, weeknights on WDAY's Extra. Extra news, extra weather, extra features that fit your schedule. Unique stories, fresh perspective, extra fast. Extra, the first word for 9 o'clock news. There's always something extra. Weeknights on WDAY's Extra News at 9.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
From the time you were little, bouncing off the walls, you were told, go do something. And so you did. Then one day you found yourself in a cap and gown. Now, go do something was an invitation. Or was it a challenge? Go with Midco. We connect you with powerful, innovative technology. That's the start. Your drive and vision do the rest. Go do something. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. You and Midco. Let's go.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
You always do this. You had a couple of pops in you and got cocky. Who's up for a game of wing roulette, you said? Because you thought it'd be funny to watch one of your friends get stuck with the hot one. But your friends, they got teriyaki, then spicy garlic, and then Asian zing. And now you're looking at the last one and you're thinking, my God, what have I done?
Welcome back to Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. Steve D'Eustachio, Larry Scott with you. We're getting ready for our coin toss presented by the Microtel and Travelodge. There go the Dragon captains from left to right: Demetrius Carr, Abe Rorick, Jake Bussey, and Dan Grandy for Concordia St. Paul. This is a team that is coming in here, and they're looking for the same thing as the Dragons are, maybe even more desperate for a victory as they get to face the very tough NSIC South. So our coin toss presented by the Microtel and Travelodge and Suites.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to midfield. Tonight we're honored to have the 1971 MSUN grad Ron Pazika to decide the coin toss. In 2015, Pazika made a $5 million gift to MSUN School of Business. Now the Pazika School of Business and Pazika Endowed Scholarship assist Dragons in many ways. Let's hear it for his company, Hebert Brick and Ron Pazika. Okay. University Moorhead. On the toss.
Further choice in the second half.
The Dragons won the coin toss, and they're going to defer.
To receive the ball to start the ball game.
So Concordia St. Paul wants the football first. And speaking of captains, let's take a look at our MSUM player to watch, Scotty. And there he is, one of our favorites. Can't believe he's already a senior.
Yeah, isn't he? From Stanley, North Dakota, and certainly he was one of those many guys that bought into the relatively new program that Coach Lockley had in part, and they were very proud to cast their recruiting nets that far west, and certainly Abe stepped in right away as a freshman, made an impact, and suddenly here he is near the twilight of his career. But like others, he would love to go out with perhaps an NSIC North title, maybe even a postseason trip. So he has played a lot, and he will certainly play a pivotal role in what remains of the 2017 season as well.
What I like even more about Abe, he leads the team in tackles. He's second in sacks. He's got a sack this season. He's just a really good kid.
Yeah, and you know, for years he was kind of joined at the hip with Aaron Bowl, wasn't he? The other linebacker from Lincoln, Nebraska. Bowl graduated. He's joined his dad's staff now at the University of Wyoming football, incidentally there on TV later tonight against Hawaii. But Bowl and Rorick logged a lot of starts between them at linebacker for the Dragons.
It's 59 degrees, 5% precipitation. That's right now. The wind is blowing at us at 10 miles an hour. Juan Albuquerque is going to kick with the wind. There is precipitation coming, but for right now, it's NSIC football underway. Juan Albuquerque gets into it, and backing up into the end zone is Dion Wallish, and here he comes. Right up the middle, has a seam, and then he'll get taken down. So Concordia St. Paul, similar to the Dragons, won their first game, have lost their last two. Your starters will scroll across the bottom of the screen. As you can see, Concordia St. Paul is in their whites, the Dragons in their new reds.
Yeah, Dragons red tops, reminding with the stripes on the shoulder pads, kind of reminiscent of the pads and colors they wore in the 60s, but they're very sharp with white pants, of course. They've also used the gray and in the all white on the road kind of look, but a new look for the Dragons this year. Looks just fine.
And we already have our first flag. Here's Jim Hardy.
Five-yard penalty.
That's got to be ominous when you haven't even had a snap yet, but yet you get penalized offensively.
Yeah, that's right, Stephen. And I watched the game on TV a couple weeks ago. 31 penalties through 3 quarters. Division I game national television. Awful. Boy, can that disrupt a game.
So here's the quarterback, Max Hutton. He's completed 44% of his passes, but the Dragon coaching staff certainly thinks he's a lot better. They do have a running game as well. This is LaJuan Preston. They're going to try to get their running game going just like the Dragons.
Yeah, they got to the outside. The Dragons appeared to have a man in the right place, but he's able to shed his tackler, turn it upfield. Nice pick, about 7 yards, second down, about 3.
There's the Dragon starters. Carter Thiel, injured earlier this season. Now he's in the starting lineup along with Aaron Doan and our player to watch, Abe Rorick. Now along the right side, it's Darnell Roll, and he's going to have enough yardage for a first down.
Yeah, you mentioned the injuries. In addition to the painful loss last week, the Dragons lost a couple more players. Isaac Ripplinger, the fine young sophomore lineman, is out and done for the year. The Dragons also had some other people nicked up, and Herman Gray, the fine running back from Vegas, not likely to play again. They'll get him back, but not tonight.
Denver Colgrove broke his ankle, so hard times right now for the Dragons. Another running play, and Aaron Doan can't make a tackle. Loses roll, and he rolls across midfield and picks up 14 yards and a first down.
Yeah, kind of a combination there. Fine run, not so good of a tackle, right? It looked like Doan had the angle on him, unable to track him down, and just like that, Concordia, very willing and anxious to keep the ball on the ground, picked up a couple of first downs.
They would love to control the ball. They've had 110 points scored against them the last 2 weeks. Roll again, right up the middle. This time, he's going to get thumped. They're going to give him forward progress. As making the tackle for the Dragons is Casey Paskey, who also poses as the Dragons punter.
Yeah, a young kid from Detroit Lakes. He was there a couple of weeks ago as well.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 for Concordia St. Paul in Dragon territory, just underway. First time on TV since late February. Hutton rolling to his right, swings it, complete out of the backfield, comes Shaq Johnson. I've seen billboards in town that says Shaq's coming to town. It's Shaq Johnson.
Yeah, a good case of a second effort indeed, and then perhaps a little bit of a shoddy tackling by the Dragons as well. But the Golden Bears now facing a 3rd and 2, 12:54. Nice efficient drive early on here by the Golden Bears.
The Golden Bears are 13 of 43 on 3rd downs. They need 2 here. Hutton looks like he's going to keep it himself. He's going to dance over the line, then get tattooed by Jake Bussey, but he finds 4 yards and another first down.
Yeah, you know, they have kind of a pedestrian football tradition in Concordia, I think, right? Nothing sensational, but they're not intimidated by the Dragons. I think they've beaten them 7 out of 9 times, and they feel very comfortable playing the Dragons until the last second of a game. We'll get to that later because 2 years ago at Concordia, the Dragons had this remarkable comeback to win in the game's final seconds, but they were dominated most of the game by the Golden Bears.
Hutton again, straight up the middle. Looks like he gets taken down by Jeff Stith. Don't ruin my Stump Scotty question. It has to do with that game from 2 years ago where the Dragons did win with no time remaining. Hutton picked up 4. It's 2nd and 6. We've played 3 minutes, and Concordia St. Paul, after getting an illegal substitution before their first snap, have moved the ball into Dragon territory without throwing it. Hutton again, keeps it, dives forward. He misses Matthew Domick and is close to another first down.
There's something kind of refreshing about watching a team that relies on a ground game, isn't there? I mean, they haven't thrown the ball yet, and then they've already covered half this field right now and put together a very nice drive. Credit to Concordia.
They huddle, they run the ball. Wait a second, they got a tight end. Hutton's going to run it again. Hutton has a first down. He gets hit from behind by Greggs. Darby Greggs has been a pleasant surprise for the Dragons, but this is almost looking like Wildcat football where a direct snap to Hutton, the quarterback, and he just finds a hole.
Yeah, you have the feeling that they've seen something, or they're convinced that there's something that can be attacked, that there's some vulnerability there by the Dragons, because they're more than willing to keep the ball on the ground, and they're able to peel off one good run after another.
The Dragons came into today 3rd in the NSIC at giving up only 96 rushing yards per game. 1st and 10. They swing it to Darnell Roll. It is their second pass, but they haven't gone downfield, and I think that was your point, as Roll picks up another 9.
Yeah, and this time it's Rorick that's kind of victimized, right? Passing the flat, it looked like he had the angle, looked like they had a chance, ran right by him. And so the first pass they throw, well, that works as well. Everything coming up roses for Concordia.
Drew Lingle out of Bismarck makes the tackle. What'd you say last week? He went to the same school as Wentz. And
Carson Wentz in Miss America. So, I mean, they like Drew back home, but I mean, a couple other people are pretty proud of him in that high school as well.
He may not be number 1.
Yeah.
2nd and 1. Hutton gives. It's Shaq Johnson. He's going to lose a yard or 2. That's good pursuit that time, and a late flag gets thrown on the field.
Yeah, much better pursuit that time. The Dragons strung that play out. Doan, I think, filled it in, and we'll get a flag here late, but certainly much better defensive response that time.
I want to do 2 things here. One on the pleasant side, I want to say hello to our great friend Josh Deere. He's the Concordia St. Paul Assistant Athletic Director.
Personal foul, face mask, number 23 on the defense. Half distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
One of the best SIDs, or whatever they call them now, in the league. And I also want to pass along our condolences, our good friend and Assistant Athletic Director Tom Berg, our SID. His father recently passed away. So Tom, we're thinking about you, and I know you're we're thinking about you. Concordia St. Paul's thinking touchdown. Darnell Roll into the end zone, and what an impressive opening drive for the Golden Bears.
Now that was aided. Prior to that, we probably didn't mention there was a penalty on the Dragons after they strung that play out. I think it was on Jerry Ray. I'm not sure. I thought I heard number 23. That set up a better opportunity, and the Golden Bears cashed in. That was a work of art, that opening drive. And again, the Dragons kind of reeling here a little bit defensively. I don't think they saw that coming, as the Golden Bears hit them with a punch right off the bat.
Jonas Schenderline on for the extra point. Low snap, great hold, and the extra point is good. We'll take a break. An impressive opening drive for the visiting Golden Bears. They lead 7-0.
Are you someone who thinks car buying is a hassle? 9 out of 10 customers tell us the worst part about buying a car is the negotiation process. So we thought, let's get rid of it. Let's post our best price 24 hours a day for everyone to see and make the car buying experience more enjoyable. In fact, we took our salespeople off a commission pay plan. We paid them based on your satisfaction. And guess what happened? Happier customers. We guarantee it. Check it out at Valley Pre-Owned.
All right, Stephen, Concordia strikes first with a 78-yard scoring drive. Indeed, that is a drive. 12 plays, 78 yards. Took 5:04, and Darnell Roll caps off that work, Art. 9-yard touchdown run over right tackle. And that just that quickly, the Golden Bears grab a 7-0 lead on the road.
58 yards on the ground, a couple swing passes, and that was it.
Yeah, well orchestrated drive, really. I think they kind of surprised in today's game. It tends to go lean pass first, not so fast, said the Bears. They went back to old-style football. The ground attack paid off big time.
Bresnahan's going to have this ball hop on the turf, and now he's going to fumble it. Now he gets the ball, and he's going to go down immediately. Good coverage that time by Concordia St. Paul. Was that Dacian Schumann on special teams? Or Breon Hoosier. His numbers all scrunched up. You see the starters along the screen, including that, nope, Isaac Ripplinger, we mentioned, is out. He is being replaced again by Cameron Norenberg. At least he did last week at Winona.
Yeah, I think it's Brady Emerson, the young man from Mort High, that's getting the start tonight. You look at different folks, but I think they were leaning toward Emerson.
Carr wanted to pass, flushed out of the pocket, and he'll pick up 11 yards and a first down. And talking with Steve Lockway a couple of hours ago when I got here, he said there's the Golden Bear defense. We want to run the ball. This is Steve Lockway subquoting here. But if they're going to put these many guys in the box, they're daring them to go long like they did against Southwest Minnesota State. This is what they want to do, and that's Austin Stone for 6 yards.
Yeah, and we saw glimpses of that last week at Winona where they did run the ball effectively for a while, and unfortunately, mistakes and fumbles at the end capped off a couple drives, but they were able to move the ball much more effectively.
Grandy climbs a ladder. He'll pick up 6 yards. They need more contributions from Grady Bresnahan, Dan Grandy. They're getting them from Broughton and Gibson. They need everybody.
Yeah, everybody in the upper Midwest knows about Gibson right now, and they're looking at him. That's fine, but there are other threats out there, including Grandy and certainly Bresnahan, the young man from Castleton. They really like him.
Carr sees some running room, and he's heading towards the Dragons sideline, and he'll get escorted out of bounds by Billy Brown, senior outside linebacker out of Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, and he ran by Denver Coldgrove. Now, Denver, unfortunately, is on crutches on the sideline, and she mentioned that he's out. He's talking to Jake Richter, the fine receiver from Detroit Lakes. He's out as well, so the Dragons have some medical issues of their own.
2nd and 7. Demetrius wants to throw. He's got Stone, who looked like he tripped on the turf, so it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm not sure Stone was really kind of got adjusted to that, did it, Steve? It kind of looked like he was kind of turning around, kind of got caught in mid-stride, and the ball deflected off his hands in the 3rd and 3 situation. Ball just on the Dragon side of the 50.
I see Michael Strand downstairs talking along with defensive coordinator Rob Hunt, trying to get his defense fired up. Swing pass near side. This is going to be a first down. There's Hunter Broughton, and he'll pick up 5.
Yeah, largely unguarded, and that's what happens when you've got Damon Gibson in the area with you, right? They were kind of a tandem set out there. They do it again here, and again, Gibson will get so much attention. It's going to leave some other people open.
Stone, with a flag down, goes down across the Concordia 45. The Dragons Swim School is second to none in the FM area. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. Learning to navigate the water is easy with the help of the Dragons Swim School. Let's see what Jim Hardy has to say after talking to his crew.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Number 45, did not get off the field prior to the ball being snapped. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Mitch Zillman is accused of an illegal substitution, so the head linesman, Casey Henderson, came over and asked Steve Lockway, pictured, back turned, if he wants to accept the penalty, and the answer was yes, so it'll be 1st and 5. 8 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in a rapidly played first quarter. Demetrius back to pass, looking long. Near side throw, there's Damon Gibson. He's not going to go down easily. He's going to get thrown down. You can hear by the crowd's reaction that they want a penalty as he went down MMA style.
Yeah, well, it looks like a rodeo almost, right? Like bullfighting or something. Man, well, that's kind of a credit to Gibson, though. It takes a lot to knock that young man down, but they finally got him down, but he popped right back up.
He could have gone out of bounds. I
Yeah.
think he might be in the impressing phase as he took on.
And I don't think that bothers him. You know, he doesn't mind playing that kind of football.
Carr looking for Gibson. Not even Superman could bring that one down. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. If you're heading to the Fargo-Moorhead area, consider a stay at the highly rated Mike Rattel Inn and Suites of Moorhead. They're conveniently located just off of 8th Street and I-94. You'll get a clean room and all the amenities such as free Wi-Fi, hot breakfast, a fitness center, and more. For reservations, call 218-4022. 2nd and 10. Dragons keep it on the ground. Stone. Thumped. Keeps going as he got hit by Mitch Zillman, who just absorbed the penalty, but Stone didn't go down easily as he picked up 4. Dragons in their giddy up. 3rd and 6. Probably 4-down territory. Here's Grady Bresnahan twisting and turning and searching for the first down, and he finds himself a couple yards short.
Yeah, open in the flats that time. Nice throw that time by Carr. But the Golden Bears responded quickly defensively, corralled them without much of an advance. They'll make it a 4th down and 2. 6:59 and counting. First quarter, Concordia leading 7-0.
Hard count by Carr. Now he's going to look over at the signage. The Dragons are 3 of 9 on 4th down. They need 2. Carr looking left. Running for his life, and he's going to get the first down. Boy, Austin Stone was begging for the football, and I think Demetrius was begging for an Austin Stone block.
Yeah, almost Jake Hodge-like, right? Once he got outside of the pocket, then he got outside to contain, and he was able to figure out where those first down sticks were, got just enough.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
And it all comes back. Now they got Tyler Lazars. I didn't see the hold or the flag.
Tyler Lazars, a young man who has played sparingly, right? Has been kind of a backup at the offensive line. We'll see more service as time goes on. Perhaps that's one of the problems. Not a great deal of experience, and that time a costly penalty. The Dragons now face a 4th down and 12 situation.
The Dragons are going to go on 4th and 13. Carr drops. Being pressured, and he's going to get sacked. Violently escorted to the turf by a fired up bunch of Golden Bears. They're celebrating with Antonio Zepeda, a sophomore linebacker out of Blaine, Minnesota. Scotty, let's take a look at these two quarterbacks by the numbers. Demetrius Carr owns the numbers, but that big number at the bottom is, that number 9 is pretty ugly.
Yeah, Hutton has had 6 passes picked off as well, so he has been guilty as well. But I know the Dragon coaches like this young guy. He hasn't played a great deal. His percentage is pretty ordinary, 45%, but he's been effective tonight, that's for sure.
How about that play by Casey Paskey? A 4-yard loss as Concordia St. Paul goes right back to the ground. That quarterback comparison was brought to you by Matt Buss. It'll be 2nd and 14 with 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. First quarter, Concordia St. Paul on a beautiful 12-play, 78-yard drive leads this thing 7-0.
Yeah, and the Dragons rather kind of rolled the dice on offense last time, didn't they, on 4th and 12, and even lost some yardage on it, so Concordia took over in great shape.
Hutton rolling to his right, being chased, throws, terrific catch that time. That's Jake Tanner. He's a junior out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. He started his career at Minnesota Duluth. Tanner's 9th catch this season. It's 3rd and 9 for Concordia St. Paul. Setting up shop closest to you is Elias Arlington. He is dangerous as well. There's Arlington, hit from behind. He was being chased, but then Carson Zark belted him from behind along with Miles Baggett, and the Dragons need a lot of that tonight.
And he never saw him, did he? Kind of a bubble screen. He cut inside, just ready to turn upfield. Didn't see Zark behind him, who leveled him, knocks him down to the 42-yard. 4th down and 8, and the Golden Bears this time ought to be willing to punt it away.
Sam Medke is the Golden Bear kicker, one of the better ones, averaging just under 40 yards per game. There's a great look at Grady Bresnahan. It is fun to watch him turn on the Jets, the former Squirrel out of Central Cass, about 25 miles west of here, and Concordia St. Paul is going to take a timeout. So with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's 7-0 Golden Bears.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
All right, Scotty, you talked about it, so let's get this out of the way. 2 years ago, Jake Hodge threw the Hail Mary touchdown as time expired to beat Concordia St. Paul. Who caught it? Was it Damon Gibson? Was it Corey Ambrose? Was it Preston Prince? Or Adam Jiskra? We will get your answer in the second quarter. The trivia question is presented by the Forum of Fargo Moorhead. Now, the aforementioned punt by Medke. Flags are down. Oh, beautiful kick by Medke. Fair catch asked for, and a terrific catch by Grady Bresnahan. There's a stiff wind right in the face of Sam Medke. That was terrific.
I'll talk about him later too, but he's one fine punter, isn't he? That was a nice effort that time. Well caught by the Dragons, almost like a center fielder roving back there, but we did get a flag on the play.
You try to keep it low into the wind. You don't get it up in the air and have it spiral and turn over. That's what you do with the wind. Medke did it into the wind as Jim Hardy's figuring out what to say.
Legal motion on the kicking team. Number 17. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Yeah, they're going to make him kick it again. What I like about these questions that I come up with, I'm hoping that those of you at home, whether you're sitting in St. Paul or you're in the Fargo-Moorhead area, if you remember that game, it was certainly one we talked about or was talked about in the Fargo-Moorhead area for a long, long time as the Dragons won at the gun. So Medke will kick it again. Bresnahan takes a couple more steps back. He gets off another spiraling kick. A 37-yard kick into the wind, and there goes Bresnahan. There's second gear we were talking about as he gets taken down from behind by Joseph Tarway, a senior out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. When that had another flag down, and when that kid hits second gear, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, now you know why ranks with the best in the league for all-purpose yardage. Punt returner, kick returner, quality receiver.
Maybe Tarway got him with a horse collar. I thought. I know these guys have been busy.
Personal foul, horse collar on the kicking team.
Yeah.
15-yard penalty.
I thought
automatic.
Bresnahan went down awkwardly and from behind by Tarway. So the great punt return and now the 15 yards, and all of a sudden the Dragons have great field position.
Yeah, it just seems like these officials, they love that camera, don't they? And they want to play a bigger and bigger role every week, it seems, in these games. More penalties, more delays, more conferences, longer games.
I know you love it. 1st and 10, Dragons, far hash. Get the ball to Bresnahan again. Looking for some running room, strung up by the Golden Bears, and then finally pushed out of bounds by Mitch Zillman as, boy, Bresnahan somehow picked up 7 yards.
Yeah, fine young player, isn't he? That time kind of almost a sweep, got to the outside, turned the corner, turned it up.
I got another beef with football, too. In the Division I game, they replay everything down the stretch. Carr over the middle. There's Bresnahan. He can't get much more wide open than he did. Touchdown, Dragons. Steve Lockway told me that he wanted to get Grady Bresnahan more involved. How about a terrific kick return, a run, and now this.
Well, he got involved, but nobody else did, Steve. There's not a defender within 10 or 15 yards of him, and a breakdown somewhere in the defensive coverage scheme for the Golden Bears. Dragons pounce on it.
Bresnahan's second touchdown this season. He had one against Southwest Minnesota State in a losing effort. Here is Juan Albuquerque trying to tie this thing up.
94 and 62, so 94. Yes, yes.
Albuquerque stays perfect in the PAT department. So we'll take a break. Good ball game here in Moorhead. 3:27 remaining here in the first quarter, even at 7.
New from the MSUM Dragons is the Fired Up Fan Zone Rewards app. Check in, earn points, and get prizes. Search MSUM in your app store to download it now, and you can join the game day fun with the Fan Cam. Check your ranking on the leaderboard and use your points to buy exclusive prizes for our Fired Up fans only. Get the Fired Up Fan Zone Rewards app powered by Valley Imports, available now in the App Store and Google Play.
2 plays, 35 yards, and Demetrius Carr throws his 6th touchdown this season, and Grady Bresnahan on the receiving end. So 7-7 here with 3:27 remaining in the first quarter. Albuquerque, another end-over-end kick, and this time Elias Arlington is not going to bring it out, Scotty. I see you looking at the numbers. What sticks out?
Well, for the Dragons so far, Demetrius Carr, 5 of 7 in the air, 54 yards. Also for the Dragons, Austin Stone, the leading rusher, 3 trips, 14 yards for the Golden Bears. Maxim Hutton, the young quarterback we like so much, 4 of 4, perfect so far, 24 yards. And Darnell Roll with the touchdown and the game-high 31 yards rushing. So those numbers break out pretty even so far. 3:27 left in the first period. The Dragons that time with a response ties this thing up.
Hutton, give, right side roll. He'll get a couple. Get everything Dragons in the palm of your hand with the Dragons mobile app, available now for all of your mobile devices. Get news, schedules, live coverage, and more. Visit msumdragons.com/mobile app. Good time to have that football, volleyball, soccer. Hutton under duress. He gets hit by Darren Gibson Jr. He'll pick up a couple yards and then get escorted violently to the turf to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you mentioned the apps to follow the Dragons, and I don't want to say this, but it isn't that far away from basketball season. The women will be going to Puerto Rico, we think, fairly soon to play, if that country can somehow cobble things together enough for a basketball game. The Dragons actually open up against South Dakota State. They're at Iowa against the Hawkeyes, and then this is all in October, and then off to Puerto Rico.
Hutton under pressure, jumps and throws, and there's Arlington again. He'll pick up 16 yards, trickle into Dragon territory, and pick up a 1st down. So this Maxon Hutton, he completed 44% of his passes coming into tonight. How about 5 for 5 for 41 yards?
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen Gustafson yet, have we?
No.
And he's their supposed premier receiver. We'll see him later, I'm sure of that. But he's found a lot of other folks, got them involved as well, including Arlington on the play before.
Roll again, this time gets a yard. This will bring up 2nd down. Casey Paskey was in the vicinity. Concordia St. Paul wants to run it. The Dragons want to run it. But they've been chucking it. 2nd and 9 here with just under a minute and a half remaining here in the 1st quarter. Hutton throws across the middle. There's Jake Tanner again. And he's going to have a 1st down as, boy, Hutton was belted by Drew Lingle.
Yeah, you got Tanner split out, and then you drag him underneath just behind in the zone where the linebackers normally are in advance of the secondary. It's kind of presents some coverage problems that time he got open, turn it up in time for a 1st down.
Theo ran him down. So a 1st and 10 for Concordia at the Dragon 36-yard line. This looks like a confident bunch of Bears. Roll. 2nd, 3rd effort is going to pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, the last time we saw somebody come in like that, kind of an underdog with a little swagger, appeared pretty confident. Indeed, they were. Yeah, Southwest Minnesota State a couple weeks ago. A decided underdog came in here, didn't act like it, certainly didn't play like it, and it ended up pinning a painful loss on the Dragons.
Second and 6 for the Bears. 2 receivers to the near side. Roll, hit, down. Picture perfect tackle. If you want to teach somebody how to tackle, Abe Rourke just showed you how. Look at that. Helmet, thighs, done. And so's the 1st quarter. End of 1 for Moorhead. Good ball game, 7-7.
There is a place where teaching matters, where faculty know your name and guide you through personal moments of discovery, where new information leads to life-changing thoughts and conclusions, where you see the world and yourself in new ways. You will be challenged to think and to think again. You may achieve all of your original goals or discover something altogether different. At Minnesota State University Moorhead, you will find your life transformed.
Here's a good look at Alex Nemzik Stadium, Shields Field. Steve DeStacio with you, alongside Larry Scott. 7-7, Concordia St. Paul. 121 yards in the 1st half. The Dragons, 87. It's been the ground game of Concordia St. Paul. It's been a steady diet of Demetrius Carr on the ground and through the air, 5 of 7 for 54 yards. And the TD toss to Grady Bresnahan. It's 3rd and 7. Hutton, for the first time tonight, going downfield, and Elias Arlington thinks he should have caught that. It would have been terrific if he did.
Yeah, so far, Stephen, the Golden Bears manufactured 121 yards of total offense against 87 for the Dragons. They ran for 64, passed for 57, a nice even split that time. And, of course, the young QB, as we mentioned, first misfire there, 6 of 7 so far. Early on, second quarter, tied at 7 here at Alec Nemzik Stadium.
Oh, I'm going to have fun here. This is a 50-yard field goal attempt for Jonas Schenderline. He's 2 for 2 this year. He's got some wind.
Whoa.
He's got a leg, too. He missed it. Boy, he had enough. He just shoved it off to the right. Update your Dragon pride at the MSU Moorhead bookstore. Get the hottest Dragon gear to show everyone your love for the red and white. Go to bookstore.mnstate.edu or click on the Buy Dragon Gear button on the Dragons mobile app today. I don't think I've ever seen a 50-yard field goal attempt in Division II until tonight.
Yeah, the Dragons one time had a kicker, Randy Bischoff, who had a few 50-yarders in the old days. A couple of them perhaps wind-aided, but he was the real deal. But very often, you know, he never really got advantage of the wind a lot of times when they get down there. He just didn't get that many opportunities. But they must trust this young guy, Concordia, to give him that opportunity. And as you mentioned, he hit it far enough, but just a little bit to the right.
Jonathan Kabambi, twisting and turning across midfield. How about 10 yards for Kabambi and a first down?
Yeah, and he's going to play a bigger part of this rushing roles as we go along now. You mentioned the injury to Colgrove. He is out, so they're looking for additional help, and he might be the answer.
Kabambi again, a big hole through the middle. Kabambi stays on his feet. Finally taken down by Breon Hoosier, but Kabambi, 23 more yards and a first down.
And I tell you who loves that is his offensive linemen, right? Oh, they love to block for an effective ground game, open those holes for him.
See if they can open another one. Nope. Through the air goes Demetrius Carr. Here's Damon Gibson. It takes 4 Golden Bears to take him down. It looks like the initial hit was made by Blake Evans, a freshman out of Manhattan, Illinois.
Oh, he attracts a party, doesn't he? Every time, as you mentioned, as many as 4 Golden Bears in the area.
It didn't look like a lot, but he got 6. Kabambi. Done in. Antonio Zapata, a sophomore out of Blaine, Minnesota. Now, Concordia St. Paul, they've had some coaching turnover, and it all comes full circle as when Concordia St. Paul entered the NSIC, their current head coach, Shannon Currier, was the coach.
Yeah, he was there for a while, left to go to Truman State, which is a school in Missouri, spent some time there, and then came back, started anew at Concordia University.
Stone, when he holds on to the football, he's effective. To the 9-yard line and a first down. So first and goal for the Dragons. Stone again. Stone into the end zone. Touchdown, and the Dragons have the lead.
Yes, and virtually all of that done on the ground with the exception, I think, of the one pass to Gibson, but very incredible, or at least impressive performance on the ground for the Dragons as they take a quick lead here. 13-7, 13:05 left, second period. The Dragons on top after trailing 7-0.
So they can both run the ball. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I know that, you know, the Dragons, there's been a lot of talk about it, some of it's small talk, but they backed it up tonight. They are dedicated and committed to the ground game, and so far they have run the ball very, very effectively.
87 yards so far on the ground. Albuquerque. 13:05 remaining first half. We'll take a break. The Dragons have their first lead.
This is Dragons Live.
Heading to Fargo Moorhead to get away and have a little fun? Book your room at the highly rated Microtel Inn and Suites. It's conveniently located just off 8th Street and I-94. Clean rooms and all the amenities you need to relax and recharge after a fun day out. Plus, when you wake up, you can enjoy a free hot breakfast. What are you waiting for? Book your room today at the Microtel Inn and Suites in Moorhead. Call 218-284-4022 or visit microtelmoorhead.com.
Get out of the way. This is how you do it.
All right, Stephen. Dragons putting on a little running clinic of their own right now on a 68-yard scoring drive. It took 7 plays. Austin Stone, 9-yard run, 3rd touchdown of the year, and so the Dragons have talked about improved ground game. They demonstrated it so far tonight. Nicely done.
Albuquerque into the win. Nicely done to the 10-yard line. Elias Arlington thrown down by Derek Porozinski. And now Concordia St. Paul will operate for the first time tonight with the wind and also from behind.
Yeah, here's a test. Now, they're going to continue to be as patient as they've been. That was easy for them early on when they had a lead, and prior to that, perhaps in a scoreless game. But when you get behind, things change a little bit. Are they still disciplined enough to take their time, or indeed do they try and rush things, force things to jump back into a tie for this football game? We'll find out quickly.
They had the ball for a spell with the win and then tried the 50-yard field goal. Here's Hutton. Now all of a sudden they want to throw it. Incomplete.
And that's troubled the Dragons at times this year a little bit when things have gone sour for a little bit. And I think that they've gone to the air probably too much or felt they had to. And that's sometimes where the mistakes come, the incomplete passes or the turnovers. So that time, pretty good pressure by the Dragons, 2nd and 10.
Why do you abandon? I don't know if they've abandoned. That's not fair. That's not fair, but don't you stick with the running game if you're Concordia?
I think so, but there's always that sense that something now is a little different than it was the last time they had the ball. But there's plenty of time. No reason to really feel that way.
Unless they can do this. Right through the wickets. And I guarantee you that the intended receiver, tight end Matt Lewin, thinks he should have had that.
Yeah, I know that's a long way for a big tight end to be rumbling down the field, but that was a great pass.
Look at
that
this.
was right there.
Right through the breadbasket.
Yeah. Not an easy catch, don't be misled, but certainly great effort by the young quarterback.
It's going to be a first down anyway because it's a personal foul against the Dragons as the Hardy boys, my friend Dave Clunt and the rest of the officials have been awfully busy tonight. Jim Hardy, the referee, his brother Thomas Hardy is the back judge. And they're going to say hello again. The Eggers Agency on 8th Street in Moorhead has served the FM area for over 20 years. So if you're looking for a good neighbor agency in our community, call the Eggers Agency at 218-233-1334 or stop by. The Eggers Agency is located on 8th Street in Moorhead. It's a gorgeous building in front of the Family Fair as you approach that nightmarish brand new roundabout in Moorhead. 1st and 10 Concordia. They trail 14-7 with 12:50 remaining first half. Steve DeStacio, Larry Scott at your service from gorgeous Shields Field. Another flag down, maybe a free play as the Dragons look to jump. Here's a completion to Marcus Gustafson, 6'5", 220, a sophomore and a speedster out of Wheaton, Illinois.
There he is, right? We've talked a lot about him. I think that's probably the first time we've had a pretty good look at him.
That's a 10th catch of the season for Gustafson. He averages 20.2 yards per catch. He's got, Gibson is bigger and stronger, but this guy's impressive as well.
Yeah, the Dragons well aware of him. We've heard a lot of talk this week about him. They're very concerned about him. Certainly been scheming all week to somehow try and neutralize him.
Swing, Arlington somehow played juggler and then got buried by Lingle.
Boy, did he. And you're just waiting for him to get popped by a Dragon in there to bust the whole play up. But they didn't get to him at that point until he really collected himself and gathered it in, turned it into a modest pickup.
So Concordia St. Paul moving the ball just like they did on their opening drive of the game. 2nd and 5 in Dragon territory at the 41. Hutton wants to keep it himself. He gets hit, busts a tackle, and then gets to the 40-yard line. Looks like Porozinski once again in on the tackle. There's Maxon Hutton, a sophomore out of Victoria, Minnesota.
Yeah, those two, Hutton and Gustafson, that's the core of this offense. And I've heard that beyond that, they were a little iffy. Although tonight they've impressed us with their ability to run the football. But make no mistake, the heart of their offense runs through their quarterback and wide receiver.
Roll average is 5 yards on the ground per pop. Empty backfield here. Hutton throwing. What a catch. There's Marcus Gustafson again.
Yeah, what do we call it? Back shoulder, I think, turns his way. Really, the only one that can get it is him, or it's going to go out of bounds. And you can tell those two have worked on this thing a little bit together, haven't they?
And
great pass.
Yeah, and he came back on the Midco instant replay. Michael Strand, that's great coverage. That's just a terrific hookup.
And that's about as good as you get for the Dragons with Strand, right? He's kind of their premier defensive back. So they had their best man there at the scene of the crime, but still, a great catch. First down.
From the Dragon 22-yard line. Now they go to the ground game. Roll. Steamrolling towards the 15-yard line. That's 8 yards. So this will bring up 2nd and 3. Second and 3 with 2 receivers to the left-hand side. Roll through a hole. He'll get a first down. Okay, Scotty, I asked you in the first quarter, Jake Hodge threw the game-winning Hail Mary touchdown as time expired 2 years ago in St. Paul to give the Dragons a 30-28 victory. Who caught it? Damon Gibson, Corey Ambrose, Preston Prince, or Adam Jiskra? We'll get your answer in a moment. High snap, brought down, roll, goes nowhere.
Well, Stephen, what I remember one thing, remember that great punt? What's the punter's name for Southwest? He knocked it down to the 6-yard line. The Dragons had at their own 6, 28 seconds to go. They hit Gibson with a couple big ones, right?
Yep.
But in the end, I believe it's the little guy, Corey Ambrose, a ricochet Roy on that deflection. You know, almost on his hands and knees in back of the end zone, waiting for the deflected touchdown. Dragons win at the buzzer. Outplayed all game, but the Dragons with an incredible drive with the old quarterback, Jake Hodge. We were there. It was a thing of wonder.
Shaq Johnson back in the ball game for Concordia St. Paul, standing to the right of Maxon Hutton. Here goes Shaq. Shaq's looking for the end zone. A flag goes down, and so does Shaq. I talked to Corey Ambrose after that ball game, and I said, why were you there? And he goes, I was following Gibson. The ball was going to Damon.
Yeah, and I think he knew it, and rather than jump awkward, he literally waited for the possible deflection, and it came true. He was just in the area, the right guy in the area. And again, we know they surely surrounded Gibson. If you remember on that drive, he had 2 spectacular catches anyway. But to go that far when they started at their 6-yard line, 28 seconds to go, what are the odds of getting that thing
done?
done?
And no timeouts.
And no timeouts, and it happened.
It happens because once you get a first down, you stop the clock in college, so they're like these make-believe first downs. It's 2nd and goal after the hold on Concordia St. Paul. Hutton wants to put it up. Incomplete. Miles Baggett and Darren Gibson Jr. were chasing him. Josh Deere, we said, was sitting at home watching the game with his wonderful family. I said Damon Gibson's bigger and stronger. Hold the phone. Gustafson, 2nd in the NSIC in the shot put, so he's not just a great wide receiver. It's 3rd and goal for the Golden Bears. We know they're in field goal range. Schenderlein's range is 60. He's got a breeze behind him. Concordia wants a touchdown. 3 wide to the left-hand side. And with 1 second on the play clock, Concordia St. Paul will take a timeout. Parents, sign your kids up for the new Scorch Squad Kids Club at msumdragons.com/Scorch Squad. It's absolutely free. Your 12 and under gets a Herbert and Gerbert's meal every time you check into the Dragons game. Access to the Kids Zone. Sign up at msumdragons.com/Scorch Squad.
You kind of get the feeling once you get to the Clay County line, you're within the kicker's range, aren't
Yes.
you? Yeah.
Well, if he can hit from 60 with no wind, why can't,
I know.
Because he certainly had enough leg on the 50-yarder that he pushed to the right.
Yeah, very explosive, and you can see why they have great trust in him. And he shook it off. He'll miss every now and then. He'll miss fire, but boy, he has some serious leg. I tell you, he's a great young kicker. Best we've seen in the league this year by far.
We've been hearing things, a couple things around the league, rumblings. Concordia St. Paul might be a little down. I'm impressed with this squad so far.
Impressive performance so far by the Golden Bears, indeed.
Roll back in the ball game for Concordia St. Paul. It's 3rd and goal from the 17-yard line as it gets noisy downstairs. Hutton with time. Throws into the end zone, incomplete. What a great play by Michael Strand to bust it up in the back of the end zone.
And that hung up there a little bit, didn't he? Had a little bit too much air there. He had to throw it a great distance. By the time the ball got there, Strand got there, and that certainly complicated things. 4th down and 17.
Well, we know this guy's got plenty of leg. Here's Jonas Schenderline from 35. This is a chip shot for him. Out of the hold of the punter.
Gee.
That was good, and that almost hit the track in the air. That might have been good from 60.
That was solid. Very, very impressive. And so the Golden Bears get something out of this drive. They don't get to the end zone. They didn't get the touchdown they wanted, but they pull within 4, 14-10.
Yeah, they go 10 plays and 60 yards, and that took 5 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. So they didn't get the ultimate prize, but there are games that we've had earlier this season where we said field goals we're not going to win. Schenderline can be a difference tonight.
He can, can't they? And they seem to are confident that they have the ability to piece together drives really at any time, and they have so far. So far they've strung out 155 yards. Check that, Steve, 176 yards of total offense already, and we still have it 8:49 left in the second period.
It's going to be fun to see where this kickoff goes. Not that Juan Albuquerque can't kick. This guy might just have the biggest leg in the league. Schenderline through the back of the end zone. So the Dragons lead at 14-10, 8:49. So let's go back to our Valley Imports keys to a Dragons victory. Limit turnovers so far. Put that in the checkbox.
Yeah, and we also talked about an improved ground game, and I think that they would certainly be. They'd have to be satisfied to this point. The Dragons have run for 87 yards already. Again, ample time left here in the second quarter. 155 yards of total offense. But if there's a downside, I think it's been a little bit of a frustration trying to find defensive answers. This is pretty resourceful Golden Bear club that's moved the ball very well.
Bresnahan drops it. So Meatloaf said it. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
So more pressure on Hutton to get a check mark in the defensive trenches.
Yeah, Hutton fine has really played well, hasn't he, the young man, and showing a lot of 9 out of 14 so far, and doesn't seem to about to panic at all, even under some heat by the Dragons.
2nd and 10. Carr wants to put it up. Pressured, and now he's going to run. And out of bounds, so it'll be 3rd and about 7 Austin Stone so far. You mentioned the Dragon ground game. Stone, 5 carries, 31 yards for 6.2 yards a pop. Kabambi, 3 carries for 37 yards for over 12 yards a carry. 3rd and 8. Broughton in motion. Carr the drop. Complete to Gibson, but he can't get the first down. He'll stretch for it, but he's short.
Yeah, it's not because of lack of second effort, was it? He got hit, still reached out that long angular body trying to get the first down. They won't get full credit for that, but a good effort, and it appears the Dragons are willing to kick it away.
Palamas the tackle out of Palm Bay, Florida. It's 4th down, and Casey Paskey is going to kick into this breeze. Jake Tanner is deep for Concordia, and there's no time remaining on the play clock. And the Dragons are going to go backwards.
Yeah, delay a game. I'm not sure where the breakdown was that time, but the Dragons assessed a 5-yard mark-off.
So Paskey again pushed back to his own 16-yard line. Here come the Bears. Paskey somehow got that off. That ball might have even been tipped. Only to the 50-yard line, only a 22-yard kick.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was hit. There was good pressure. They were all around the kicker, and he was able to unload it. But the Golden Bears also profited from some bounce back toward the Dragon end zone. So wonderful field position for Concordia University. 7:13 left, second quarter. Concordia trailing MSU Moorhead 14-10.
Winona won earlier today at Minot, 47-7. Enjoy that bus ride home, boys. You'll be home maybe for church tomorrow morning. And Mankato won, so they're both 4-0. The University of Sioux Falls looking to go 4-0 tonight. Hutton throwing downfield, contact, but it was overthrown, and this will bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the South shall rise again, right, in the NSIC. Right now, let's be honest, they have been the dominating division so far, and between Mankato, I think 3 of them are unbeaten in that area, and certainly the North doesn't have that to offer at this point.
It's 2nd and 10 for Concordia St. Paul. Hutton under duress, being chased by Lengel. Wisely throws it out of bounds. This will be 3rd down.
We talked about the North, Steve, too. In the old days, I mean, you'd almost start to tremble when you talk about Minnesota Duluth. But this might not be your grandfather's Bulldog team this year. They certainly have not been as impressive as previous UMD outfits, that's for sure.
So it'll bring up, wait a minute. One of the linemen, Ben Lawrence, out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, was downfield a little too hastily, so the Dragons will decline that, and all of a sudden it's 3rd down. The Dragons lead at 14-10, 7 minutes and a tick remaining here in the first half. Hutton throwing. Did Gustafson catch that? No. I think Concordia was looking for a flag.
I think he thought he could have caught it. It was thrown low, and he certainly made a good effort, but it tumbled away to the track. And now the Dragons with the defensive stop just that quick. Concordia forced into a punting situation.
Medkey to put a boot into it. Grady Bresnahan is standing deep. My guess is with the win, Medkey just wants to kick this thing into the end zone. Can't do it. Bresnahan's going to get a try, but he's got 3 or 4 Golden Bears around him. Good coverage that time by the Golden Bears.
Yeah, no fair catch. He's never met a punt he didn't like, did he? I mean, he's not afraid to take off with it that time. A modest return, but the Dragons will begin this drive perhaps about their own, where are we sitting at, Steve? About the 14-yard line. 6:47 left, second quarter.
This is the final NSIC South game or interdivisional play, as starting next week, it's going to be all North versus North and South versus South the rest of the season.
Yeah, and then next year the things change a little bit. The Dragons open up with, there's different opponents. Instead of opening up playing all South teams, the first 4, they'll open up with some North teams right away.
I already know who they play the first game next season. Here's Stone picking up 2 or 3. It's a Thursday night game at Upper Iowa.
Oh, that's right. Well,
enjoy that ride home, boys.
We've always enjoyed the stop sign there, haven't we? Dragon volleyball team was there last night and were beaten. I think they're in Winona today. We laugh about that, but they're a very competitive school in the league, but it is a strange situation. The town without stop lights, it's amazing. Just one stop sign in town.
2nd and 7, the Dragons keep it on the ground. Stone with some running room, and he's going to get a first down. A little smash mouth football. That's going to make former coach Ralph Michelli happy.
Yeah, you hope so, and you hope they stay with it for a while. I know that sometimes they'll do this for a while, and whether they lose focus or interest and then start throwing it around a little bit, but so far they've been able to run the ball pretty well. You mentioned Kabambe, 12 yards a clip.
Here he is again. He's not going to get 12 yards this time. He'll get 2, as one of the last Golden Bears to get up is Mitch Zillman. We've called his number 4 or 5 times. So you said they'll change the schedule next year, but they're not. We're not going to get out of that Upper Iowa trip, are we?
No, probably not.
Oh, boy. It's 2nd and 8 for the Dragons. Clock winding with 5:22 remaining here in the first half. Devin Homer in the ball game. Bresnahan gets a lot of nothing. Palamas with the tackle, and it's 3rd down.
Now, it could be worse. They could force you to play at night.
And they're not going to play Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, when Upper Iowa played Minot 2 years ago, they made him play at night.
Yeah.
Saturday night from Minot all the way back to Upper Iowa. That's awful. That's really not fair to your student athletes. Bring them home the next day, right, all night on the bus.
Do you know who
Come
played
on, guys, play in the afternoon.
Do you know who played 2 nights ago? Mary at Upper Iowa.
Yeah.
3rd and 8. Mary just got home an hour ago. Carr with time, looking for Broughton. He'll haul it in. There was terrific coverage by Brian Shakutsky, but Broughton got loose, and the biggest play for the Dragons tonight goes 33.
Quiet till now, right? I think it might have been his first catch, but what a catch it was. Big throw, big catch. Full extension that time by Mr. Broughton. A great catch.
Carr had a lot of protection that time. 3 wide on the right side. Demetrius looks to his left. And now here's Bresnahan in the open field. He's going to get popped down by Dion Wallish, a junior out of Oakdale, Minnesota. Now, Wallish started his career at Minnesota Crookston.
Boy, it's kind of pick your poison if you're the defensive coordinator for the Golden Bears when you're looking at this Dragon passing attack.
And there goes Carr. 11 more yards, and now you see that balance that Steve Lockway wants.
Yeah, clearly, you know, if you can run the ball effectively, it's only going to enhance your passing game. And that's kind of what's happening now. They have got the Golden Bears a little bit on their defensive heels.
Stone joins the party. Stone looking for the end zone again. His 2nd tonight. Touchdown, Dragons.
Wow, what a run that time by Mr. Stone. He knew where he was heading, didn't he? 11-yard pickup, full tilt that time, and the Dragons with a quick touchdown boost their lead now to 20-10 with an extra point to follow. What a drive by the Dragons that time. A good mix, the pass, of course, the great catch by Broughton, meant a lot, but the Dragons are able to effectively run the ball on the ground, and only fittingly it is Stone that cashes in.
Albuquerque for another point after try. On its way and through. We'll step away with 3:50 left in the first half. The Dragons have extended the lead, 21-10.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Well, Stephen, the Dragons go 86 yards, 8 plays. It took just 2:57. It is Austin Stone on an 11-yard touchdown run for the Dragons. They expand their lead to 21-10. You know, Steve, we've talked quite a bit about the defense so far. We've seen a lot of good defensive stops, some inspired defensive play, and suddenly you look at this. Already the teams have combined for 426 yards of total offense, and we're not out of the first period yet. So again, offense reigns supreme here in the NSIC.
Arlington from the 12, running towards his sideline. That's not north and south. He might have coughed up the football. The Dragons think they have it. Are they going to call him down?
Boy, they're pretty casual, the officials.
Nope.
Yeah, they did call it down. They seem committed to that right away. They just kind of ambled over to that scrum that was taking place when the Dragons thought that they had it. So the ball was loose, but they called him down first.
Boy, Malik Delbrun, number 39. You can see the Dragons pointing right there. Aaron Doan thought Delbrun had it, but you hear the pro announcers say there's biting, clawing. I don't know if that was going on, but it can get physical down there. So it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Concordia St. Paul from their own 16-yard line. Roll. Straight ahead, picks up 7. If you're Concordia St. Paul, you still have plenty of time as we approach 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, and the other thing, you really don't want to give it back again, do you? You don't want a drive to end quickly and then kick it away and let the Dragons have one more whack at it, because, you know, they'll take a shot at it. There's no doubt about that. That's the last thing that you want to happen now for Concordia. Go in at down 21-10 if you have to, but don't give the Dragons another opportunity.
This will be a first down as Hutton hooks up with Gabe Steed out of Lowell, Michigan. It's Gabe Steed's 5th catch this season. But he moves the sticks for Concordia.
Yeah, he didn't really like how DeAndre Taylor escorted him to the turf, did he? And one of the fellow teammates on the Golden Bears kind of retaliated with a little push. But no harm, no foul.
I thought the whistle was late. His forward progress was stopped. And then we saw Damon Gibson get thrown down earlier. Pitch and catch this time goes to Jake Tanner, and he'll pick up 4, maybe 5. Clock continues to run. 2:37 left first half.
Yeah, and Rorick almost beat Tanner to the ball that time. Splendid inside coverage, minimal gain.
So it's 2nd and 6 for Concordia. Hutton rolling to his left. Coming back to get the ball is Arlington, taken down by a couple of Dragons. This will be another first down. The impressive little drive brewing here for these Golden Bears towards the end of the half.
Yeah, they'd like to extract something out of this, wouldn't they? Preferably a touchdown, but at worst a field goal. Boy, they turned these last couple of minutes into something that would give them a real positive jump start for the second half.
Fumble. Now the Dragons have the football. Miles Baggett knew it immediately. Carter Theo comes up with it, and finally a turnover goes the Dragons' way.
Yeah, there's your turnovers, right? The Dragons have been haunted by them all year, we've mentioned. That time it's the Golden Bears. And man, that's one frustrated crew that leaves the field there. Looked like I don't know if it was a simple handoff that went awry, but Baggett, as you mentioned, nobody else really in the area. He pounced right on it. Certainly no Golden Bears around to rescue that thing. And so the Dragons will get it at the 46-yard line, 2:01 left. Yeah, there's some time for something to happen.
If you're the Golden Bears, you got a problem. The Dragons are they're gonna step on the gas pedal. Carr. Flag down. This is going to be a hold against the Dragons, and Carr does the right thing and throws it over everybody's head.
Yeah, this thing started with 2:01, and that's enough time to get a lot done normally for the Dragons. They misfired a little bit there on the first down, pretty good coverage, and Carr had a retreat. Then the flag came out for holding.
Well, they scored in 28 seconds and no timeouts left 2 years ago to win, so certainly 2 minutes and 1 second is an eternity.
This is nothing, right?
Yeah.
Plus, they don't have to go 94 yards either. Gosh, wasn't that amazing? Remember how Hodge dancing around, and he hit Gibson with a couple, and we thought at the time, well, that was kind of nice. They got a little bit out of it. Clearly no chance to win the game. Then they got a little closer. You thought they made, they had time for one last play, right? Throw it up in the end zone. And our friend Corey Ambrose just sitting around waiting for the debris to clear, and there it was, wide open, caught it, and the Dragons stunned the Golden Bears. That was a great win. Remember Joel Lardnois, the one-time Dragon defensive coordinator, was on the staff at that time, a Concordia defensive coach. After the game, he was certainly one stunned coach, we'll tell you that, and as he watched his former team rescue a most dramatic victory.
Why is a holding penalty taking this long?
I don't know.
Here's Jim Hardy, maybe.
Now they're going to come on this side. Yeah, this is awful, I tell you.
The first foul, holding, number 58, will be declined. The second penalty, intentional grounding, quarterback, number 2. That'll be a spot foul, loss of down, second down.
That's why.
Oh, we got double penalties, right? Don't we?
Yeah.
But
they called intentional grounding on Demetrius
and
Carr.
Yeah. Okay,
Steve Lockway's arguing, and I think he's got a point. Carr had to be out of the box, out of the tackle box.
Yeah, and just kind of flick it away, and
that's a 12-yard penalty. It's 2nd and 22. 1:51 remaining here in the first half. Augustana and St. Cloud are playing tonight, just down I-94, a couple hours away. They're in their second lightning delay. So while we fear a shower, they're getting thunderstorms near the Twin Cities. Second and a lot. They'll go to the draw. Stone bumped and then goes down. It's third down with 99 ticks remaining here in the first half. Augustana is out at St. Cloud playing tonight. The other game tonight, Minnesota Crookston is in Sioux Falls. So Steve Lockway is going to use some clock here. Concordia St. Paul has just one timeout remaining. So I don't think they mind that this clock is running either. Five on the play clock. Carr finds Bresnahan. It'll be 4th and 5 as he got a big chunk of it back. And now Concordia St. Paul takes a timeout. Why do you think Shannon Courier took a timeout now with the Dragons in a position where they might go for it on 4th and 5?
Well, I think Concordia's, convinced the Dragons will go for it. The ball's at the 42-yard line. And I think now they're just looking at the defensive priorities, and certainly they want to get that message across to the secondary, especially. You got to watch Gibson, they know that. But it's Bresnahan and Broughton and some of the other people that have probably caused as much or more damage so far for the Dragons. Bresnahan has 4 catches. Hunter Broughton has 4. Gibson just 3 catches so far for 24 yards.
So it's 4th and 5, and Demetrius Carr and the Dragons offense comes back onto the field. Remember this play the rest of the ball game. Or the Dragons just going to try to draw the Golden Bears offside.
Well, they rotate Grandy to the right side. 3 receivers on the right side of the formation, looking for the hard count, probably trying to get the Golden Bears to jump. It didn't work, and now the Dragons call the timeout.
Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have an MSU Moorhead halftime news break. We'll have highlights, stats. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll take a look at what's ahead. We mentioned the NSIC North. It all begins next week. If you had a little crystal ball, where do you see the Dragons in that mix?
Well, like as I mentioned, for years you would fear Minnesota Duluth. Everything went through the Bulldogs up there. No more, I don't think, this year. They have really been a struggle, and they've had some cutbacks from what we understand. And talking to their coaches, that's not nearly the club it once was. So that probably leaves, Bemidji State might loom as the best, and the Dragons. I'm not sure. It certainly isn't Minnesota Crookston, Minot State, University of Mary, and Northern State. I don't think is kind of a championship pedigree, but we'll find out.
Paskey gets it away, and grabbing it is Jake Tanner. What a chance he took as he does grab it at the 11-yard line. So Concordia St. Paul, with no timeouts remaining, will have it with 49 seconds left to go. I would think if you're Shannon Currier, knowing that Steve Lockway only has 2 timeouts remaining, you could just take a knee and get out of here, can't you?
Well, you don't want to make a mistake down here, do you? Well,
wow. Wow. Nearly picked off by Rourke. The ball was intended for Elias Arlington, the senior out of Cottage Grove, Minnesota. I'm a little surprised that they went to the air.
Yeah, and it looked like he had a couple of receivers deeper that might have caused more problems for the Dragons. I don't know if he was aware of it. He went to the underneath route. It was incomplete.
To the air again. Hutton. Flag down. And now he'll just throw it away.
Yeah, they're going to get in trouble if they keep that up, really. And the Dragons could, maybe force them to kick it away, too, if they throw it this quickly, get incomplete passes. Stopping the clock, among all things. Really, there's 38 seconds left. We'll find out what this penalty is. Probably a holding, I'm guessing, against Concordia.
If it is, you decline it. Here's Jim Hardy. Not yet.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. Half the distance to the goal. Replay it down.
Now you get a hold in the end zone. What do you get? A safety. Yeah, so you don't want that either.
I'm surprised Steve Lockway accepted this penalty as the rain begins to fall here in Moorhead, because it would have been 3rd down with the clock stopped. So instead it'll be 2nd and 15. Hutton, now he's going to run it.
Yeah.
That's a little more prudent. He's going to get belted down by 3 or 4 Dragons, and now Steve Lockway takes a timeout, so I'm a little confused. It's his last timeout, or his second timeout, with 31 seconds left to go.
Third and 19, according to the clock.
No, third and 2. Third and 2 from the
Third and 2
19.
at the 19.
But you could have declined the penalty and had third and 10.
Yeah.
So either way, Lockway likes his defense, and he's hoping they come up with a stop here.
Yeah, and he clearly doesn't need our help, does he?
No. A lot of the questions I ask him, I start with, I'm not Vince Lombardi. Let's keep that in mind. Now, what do you do if you're Concordia St. Paul? I would imagine you got to keep the ball on the ground. That's why I'm not Vince Lombardi. That's a first down for Concordia St. Paul, and they're going to hustle to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that'll get them out of harm's way and allow them to finish this possession without kicking it away.
They also know they've got Schenderline, as Arlington can't come up with this one. Schenderline missed from 50. According to Josh Deere, he can hit from 60 in benign conditions, so maybe they're thinking, just get to the 40-yard line and take a crack. Either way, it's 2nd and 10 with 17 seconds remaining here in the first half. It's a light rain that's falling. We're supposed to get an inch to an inch and a half of rain here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. As he's going to go down. Hutton gets belted, and now a late flag falls as Darren Gibson Jr. comes up with the sack. There have already been 11. This will be the 12th accepted penalty. Gibson got the sack. He also got a face mask called against him.
He's an impressive young player, though, isn't he, out of Illinois? Redshirt freshman defensive tackle. Already assumed the role as perhaps the Dragons' most respected defensive down lineman.
10 seconds left in the first half. Concordia is out of timeouts. Low snap. Hutton grabs it. Lingle hits him, but he doesn't go down. He'll get the first down, and now the clock stops with 1 second remaining. Can Concordia get to the line of scrimmage?
Can't spike it.
He can spike it, but I don't think they had enough time. I'm thinking what they wanted to do was spike it, and then it would set up a 66-yard field goal try for Schenderline. If we thought a 50-yarder would be fun, so would 66. But your thoughts as the Dragons exit into the halftime locker room?
Well, certainly an improved Dragon ground attack today. That's very impressive. The Dragons rushed for 131 yards in the first half and kind of took one of the best shots from the Golden Bears. Right, fell behind early 7-0, but stayed the course. Drew even got the lead and expanded that now to 21-10. You also have the feeling that Concordia is not going to go easily into the night, are they? I would expect them to continue to challenge the Dragons throughout the second half. But a pretty entertaining first half, effective grounding games both ways. We've seen, as expected, some pretty potent passing attacks, both for the Bears and the Dragons.
21-10 your halftime score. We'll take a break, and when we come back, a brand new MSU Moorhead halftime news break, and then Scotty Onaik will come back with some out-of-town scores, upcoming schedule, and much, much more. You're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY's Extra.
Today's game is sponsored by Sodexo, Valley Imports, Richards Transportation, Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, Bell Banks, Brick House, Buffalo Wild Wings, Herbert and Gerbert's, Bite Speed, Courtyard by Marriott, Forum Communications.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
With everything that happens in a day, it's nice to have options. That's why we're making it easier for you to get news that fits your schedule.
WDAY WDAZ News, first on at 4.
Working hard to bring you more breaking news throughout the region and weather that will impact your area, all at a time that works for you. The first in the region, your trusted team, keeping you informed when you need to know most.
WDAY WDAZ News, first on at 4.
New from the MSUM Dragons is the Fired Up Fan Zone Rewards app. Check in, earn points, and get prizes. Search MSUM in your app store to download it now, and you can join the game day fun with the Fan Cam. Check your ranking on the leaderboard and use your points to buy exclusive prizes for our Fired Up fans only. Get the Fired Up Fan Zone Rewards app powered by Valley Imports, available now in the App Store and Google Play. Hello everyone and welcome to the MSUM Halftime News Break. On today's show, we'll laugh with our Dragons volleyball team as they take on our new dad joke style teammate game and an intimate look at Dragon football's Demetrius Carr and his road to his senior season. First, let's go funny with Dragons volleyball in our Papa John's teammate game.
Hey Monica, want to hear a joke about construction? Nah, I'm still working on it.
What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta.
You hear the rumor going around about butter? Never mind, I shouldn't spread it.
What do you call a group of killer whales playing instruments? An orchestra.
What do you call an elephant that doesn't matter? An irrelevant.
Why was the big cat disqualified from the race? Because it was a cheetah.
Tyann, why do trees seem suspicious on sunny days? I don't know, they're just a bit shady.
What do you call a man with no nose and no body? Nobody knows.
How do you tell the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? You will see one later and one in a while.
How much does a hipster weigh? An Instagram.
That's such a good joke. What? That's my favorite joke.
How does a penguin build its house? It glues it together.
What happened to the cow that jumped over the barbed wire fence? Utter destruction.
What's the best thing about elevator jokes? They work on so many levels.
What's a duck's favorite dip? Guacamole.
We've got more MSUM Halftime News Break with quarterback Demetrius Carr coming up after the break.
There's a place where people know that teaching and learning are the keys to a transformed life. This is Minnesota State University Moorhead. Here, you're guided in your journey by meaningful relationships with faculty who know your name and help you arrive at your own moments of discovery. The point of this journey is to explore, to discover who you are, why you're here, and what you'll do next. And when you head out into the world, you'll find your life transformed.
Today's game is sponsored by Valley Pre-Owned, Sanford Health, Gate City Bank, Matt Bus, Midco, Travel Incorporated, Spicy Pie, State Farm, Golf Addiction, Shucks Bus, Shields.
First thing I do every morning when I get up is look out the window and see what the sky is doing. The neighbors kind of all know I'm into this, so I'll get calls or texts saying, oh, there's 2 eagles in the trees over here. I have a lot of relatives who live in other parts of the state, and they see them on TV, and it always kind of makes them feel like they're connected. Keep an eye on the sky and be ready. You never know what might show up.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from Shop MSUMDragons.com. Welcome back to the MSUM Halftime News Break. Dragon football's Demetrius Carr has had a winding road to the starting spot at quarterback. In his own words, here's his note to self.
Note to self, this is Demetrius Carr. Wow, Demetrius, I don't know where to begin. Let me start by saying what a couple of years it has been. You've been through so many obstacles which have made you into the person you are today. But it was not an easy road at all. Let me start by saying, never take anything for granted, because you never know when your last snap will be. I say this because you're going to start your first game as a freshman at MSUM, and that will also be the last game of that season, due to an injury. Instead of feeling angry and upset, look at the situation in a positive way. Your 5th year here is going to be so much better than your true freshman year. Continuing on to your sophomore year, instead of being angry at the coaches and the other quarterback and debating on whether to transfer or not, look in the mirror and grow up. No one else but you can control your life, so stop blaming others. I know you believe you deserve the starting spot, but the truth is, you don't. You are inconsistent, and that is what caused the sharing of playing time for the past 3 years. But don't forget to cherish every win, no matter how big or small they are, because each one is a special moment with your teammates. With great mentors and coaches around you, don't take their leadership lessons and waste them. Those lessons are going to change your lives, to change the way you live your life and how you treat people. Most importantly, don't forget about your family. Be thankful that you have Bella and Chelsea living up here with you, supporting your dream and passion of playing football. Just know that even though your mom is 600 miles away, she is just one phone call away. Embrace the support of your family because you're going to need it. To end this note, the best decision of your life was to come to MSUM to get an education and turn this football program around. Without a doubt, choosing MSUM was the right choice for me. The end.
Thanks, Meech, and thank you for sticking with us today on the MSUM Halftime News Break. Back to Dragons football with Steve and Scotty right after this.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Get everything Dragons in the palm of your hand with the MSUM Dragons mobile app. Available now for all your mobile devices. Get the MSUM Dragons mobile app today or check out msumdragons.com/mobile app for more information.
This broadcast is copyright Minnesota State University Moorhead and presented by Dragon Athletics. All rights reserved.
Today's game is sponsored by Rustica, Papa John's, the MSUM Bookstore, Moorhead Public Service, Microtel, Travelodge and Suites, Kia of Fargo, Pepsi, Subway, and Minnesota State University Moorhead.
In the more than 60 years that WDAY has been broadcasting, we've been there with you, sharing your experiences, your community, and your home. Now, with WDAY's Extra, we're going beyond to bring you additional news, weather, sports, and other local events, live and in high definition. WDAY's Extra is a channel that's giving you more coverage while providing the same superior quality that you expect. Check your local listings or contact your cable provider for WDAY's Extra, bringing you more.
Back to Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. Steve DeStacio with you as the Dragons lead Concordia St. Paul here at the half by the score of 21-10. Let's take a look at our first half stats. It was Concordia St. Paul getting on the board first. Here's Latrell Rowe getting into the end zone, capping off a beautiful 12-play, 78-yard drive, and just like that, Concordia St. Paul was on the board. Later in the quarter, back came the Dragons. Grady Bresnahan, he's had a big night so far. Demetrius Carr with the touchdown throw, and then Austin Stone got to work on the ground. There's a 9-yard touchdown run to put the Dragons up 14-7. Jonas Schenderline would hit a field goal, but Austin Stone said this game's about touchdowns. I'm going to spin into the end zone for a second time, and the Dragons lead it by the score of 21-10. You take a look at the stats, Scotty. What stands out for you?
I like the balance for the Dragons. 131 rushing, 135 passing, total of 266. Rushing in particular, they've kind of ignored that part of the game this year, and certainly tonight, a little more attention. It's paid big rewards. Austin Stone, 59 yards, and more importantly, a couple touchdowns. The Golden Bears moving the ball effectively as well. 238 yards of total offense for the Golden Bears. 16 first downs against 14 for the Dragons. And the turnover is probably the biggest thing. Just one, it was on the Golden Bears.
So the keys to a victory, real quick. Turnovers, Dragons have none. Rushing, 131 yards. Look at that balance. I love that. Yep. 131, 135. If you're a Concordia St. Paul fan, sure, only one turnover. You're losing that battle. You want to get one back. But that's why this has been, other than the penalties, a well-played football game.
Yeah, and they've clearly demonstrated that they too can move the football, right? They've been able to run the ball effectively for 109 yards, throwing it for 129. They've got some weapons. I think their ground game is a little more effective than probably advertised, but they are certainly still within striking range down 21-10.
All right, a busy Saturday. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard after this. You're watching live coverage of Dragon football on WDAY's Extra.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding Mass Bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from Shop MSUMDragons.com.
Mr. Goldman loved his family a lot, didn't he, Dad?
He sure did.
That's why he had State Farm life insurance, like you. So his family never has to worry, right?
Mr. Goldman didn't have life insurance.
Why not?
He's just a goldfish.
Ignore him.
Call State Farm agent David Eggers in Moorhead today so your family won't have to worry about whether you have life insurance.
We put the life back in life insurance.
For expanded regional news, watch something extra. For extended weather coverage, watch something extra. The news at 9. Weeknights on WDAY's Extra. Extra news, extra weather, extra features that fit your schedule. Unique stories, fresh perspective, extra fast. Extra. The first word for 9 o'clock news. There's always something extra. Weeknights on WDAY's Extra News at 9.
All right, Scotty, we're under the lights, and there was some day football being played today, so let's take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard presented by the Shuck Bus Company. Thursday, there's that trip you're talking about. Mary blasting Upper Iowa, 58-14. Today, look at that. Wade State led for the majority of that football game. But they fell in double overtime to Minnesota Duluth, 34-31, and you can see Winona dismantling Minot State. Bemidji State at home beats Southwest Minnesota State. You said that might be the team to watch in the NSIC North. Minnesota State Mankato moved to 4-0. They beat Northern State 36-0. St. Cloud State and Augustana. Early stages, second quarter, there were a couple lightning delays down at Husky Stadium. 16-0 St. Cloud State with the lead. The University of Sioux Falls should have no issues going to 3-0. They lead Minnesota Crookston 21-0 in quarter number 2.
Yeah, I think Bemidji State might be the most complete team right now in the North. Maybe St. Cloud State. Now, the Dragons have not matched up particularly well against St. Cloud of late. That's, again, not a great St. Cloud State team, I don't think. But I think the big surprise is the fact that Minnesota Duluth may have slipped off that mantle as the North Division's best football team. I'm sure they'll give the Dragons a challenge here when it's homecoming for MSUM, but Bemidji may very well be the best team. Are we right on that one with Mary and Upper Iowa?
Yeah.
Mary beat him?
Crushed them. No, Upper Iowa
Well,
won.
here it said Mary. That's what I'm saying. It's got Mary winning, and that's got me perplexed.
Upper Iowa won at 58.
Yeah, because Mary is the team that's really in disarray from what we understand. Trying to run a triple option offense and really had a lot of problems. Our old sidekick, Roger Thomas, is out of there now as the AD. Yep. But Dale Lennon, the former head coach in North Dakota and Southern Illinois, is the new AD at University of Mary. You have the feeling that they will be better in time, but right now, not so good for the Marauders.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule presented by the Travelodge and Suites. Scotty and I, we're going to be down in Aberdeen, South Dakota for Gypsy Days. We'll have a 2:15 pregame report, 2:30 audio-only webcast next Saturday from Swisher Field. And then 2 weeks from today, the Dragons are back at it here at home against Minnesota Duluth. Let's take a quick timeout when we come back. The second half, you're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY's Extra.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
The Dragons lead Concordia St. Paul here 21-10, and Concordia St. Paul will kick it off to start here in half number 2. 2 Austin Stone touchdown runs in the second quarter. The difference in this ball game. Grady Bresnahan back deep for the Dragons. Schenderline the approach. Bresnahan doesn't want to take it out. It started to rain late in the second quarter. For a more in-depth report, let's go downstairs to the newest member of our Dragons Live team, Alexis Kennedy.
It did start to rain, as you heard or saw at the end of the second half. A couple players have been cramping up, but the trainers have been doing a good job stretching them out on the sideline. Guys?
Thank you, Alexis. So the Dragons start from their own 25-yard line. Just a light, what is a mist, a shower? Here in Moorhead, a breeze has been persistent from the north, now in the Dragons' face as they start the third quarter. Here's Grady Bresnahan trying to get to the outside. Gets thrown out of bounds a little too violently, so we have multiple fouls on the first play from scrimmage here in the third quarter.
Yeah, a little toss that time to Bresnahan, kind of in motion. I don't think we've seen that before, Steve. And then as he crossed the 35, he was tossed out of bounds. That drew a flag. But there's a couple of them. Let's sort it out.
Alexis just mentioned the conditions outside here. Josh Deere is telling me that they're in their third lightning delay down in St. Cloud. So weather here in the upper Midwest, the good news for us is this is just a light shower. It's nothing of the thunderstorm variety.
And it was so much better today, wasn't it? And things deteriorate as you get into the night. 14:52 left. We're just starting quarter number 3. The Dragons, they had 21-10. Another referee's decision in a huddle. Sorting out a couple penalty flags. Penalties not a big priority in the first half. Both teams had 6 each. The Dragons assessed 65 yards in penalties.
We know there's going to be a personal. Here's Jim Hardy.
First personal foul. Legal block below the waist. Offense, number 5. That 15-yard penalty be enforced from the 31-yard line. Second personal foul, we've got a late hit out of bounds on the defense, which will be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So you take a 15-yard penalty against, yeah, it should be offsetting.
Yeah, they said they're going to move the first one back, and then he just said it'll be a first down. But I think, to my knowledge, they're offsetting. They're both of the 15-yard variety.
We just had that report from Alexis, and now the rain is getting a little stronger, a little heavier. Here in Moorhead, 1st and 10 Dragons. They lead at 21-10 as Austin Stone is to the right of Demetrius Carr. Stone, 2 hands around the ball, forward for 3 yards. First in for Concordia St. Paul. Looked like Cole Reamer out of Osceola, Wisconsin.
One more reason you like an effective ground game, right? Is if the weather deteriorates, if it becomes wet and a little precipitation, it's often a little easier to stay on the ground, move the football that way.
Steve Lockaway told me the field does get slick, but the ball gets wet. That's the big concern. I mean, unless you get a quagmire. Carr, loose, across midfield, flying across the 45-yard line to the 42 in Concordia territory. 23 yards and a first down.
Wow, that looked like a predetermined run, didn't it? And when he got to the end, he did anything but shy away from contact. He went right after that tackler from Concordia. Big run that time by Carr.
Now it's Jonathan Kabambi right up the middle, and he's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards. I like the way the Dragons are starting here in this third quarter.
Yeah, a little extra juice in their running game right now, isn't there, Stephen?
Second and about 5. Carr to Grandy, and he'll get stopped by Andrew Capercio out of Fountain Hills, Arizona.
Yeah,
sounds
I
like
think
a warmer
he was
place than here.
Almost tempted to try and toss Grandy to the turf that time, but there was an official nearby. The play was really stopped, and he reached that decision as well, too. Didn't make the mistake of getting a careless personal foul.
Third and about 5 for the Dragons from the Concordia 37. To the ground goes Kabambi. He'll get taken down about a yard, maybe 2, before the first down. Adam Miller, a junior defensive lineman out of Chicago, Illinois, one of the Bears that had him, and it's 4th down, and once again, it's green light time for Steve Lockway. The Dragons need to get to the 31-yard line. Carr throws low. Broughton can't come up with it, and the Dragons are going to turn the ball over on downs.
One reason for the expanded role that time by Kabambi is we looked below. Austin Stone is getting some added medical attention from trainer Keith Wiedrich, getting something taped up there. I don't think it's anything serious, but he wasn't in on that part of that last drive.
There we're trying to give you an idea of how hard it's raining here in Moorhead. It's a pretty shot. Just a great, I just love the atmosphere here. Miles Baggett's going to get a hand in on this tackle as picking up 3 goes Roll, and back to the ground goes Concordia St. Paul. So this will bring up 2nd and 7. And now there's an injured Golden Bear. Let's go downstairs now to a soggy Alexis Kennedy.
Hi guys, yeah, just checking in here on Austin Stone. He's looking okay. He did get his ankle taped by trainers, walking around a little bit. He's not in his head that it is okay, but I think they're just trying to stress it out a little bit. He's doing a little bit of jogging, but it's looking like he should be able to come back in. Guys.
Scotty, you can see Alexis Kennedy down there. Don't complain about where you were, because we have a roof over our head. She just has a hood on.
Stay dry, Alexis.
That was good stuff, and as she was giving us that report, Austin Stone was jogging back and forth. In fact, almost ran Alexis over, so good work downstairs. Here goes Roll. He gets chopped down by Michael Strand. What a tackle at the 39-yard line. It's 3rd and about 4 for Concordia St. Paul. We knew the rain was coming, we just didn't know when. The Dragons lost in the rain 4 years ago here when this was a grass field. Now it's just a little slick. There's a first down. That was a slick reception. A little inside slant as Matt Bjork, senior tight end out of De Pere, Wisconsin. That's not easy. Bjork on a little slant, but a wet football.
How about spreading the love? 7 different receivers already for the Golden Bears, and of course their primo receiver Gustafson limited to just a pair of catches, 34 yards.
Roll loose. Greng's trying to take him down. He'll finally surrender after 9.5 yards. Second and 1. Do you think the weather is the reason why both teams have gone to the ground game here early in this 3rd quarter?
I'm not sure, Stephen. I think both teams had to be satisfied, if not encouraged, by their ability to run the ball in the first half. We mentioned that that was the Dragon priority, that they were going to spend more time and energy on that. I'm not sure what the mindset of the Golden Bears coming in was, but it does make an impact, though. I think you're right, Stephen. I think you're a little more reluctant to throw the ball around with the rain and that kind of thing. And sometimes even a well-thrown ball can be difficult to catch when it gets slippery. So it works more against the passing game, no doubt.
And with a different quarterback in, it's Ron Johnson, and those were his first passes this season. It's Ron Johnson, a senior quarterback out of Chicago, engineering this drive. I didn't see Hutton get hurt. Boy, Roll gets hit by Rorick. We're getting word that Hutton did take a couple of pretty good shots. So Ron Hutton, who has not played a lot of football, he didn't play last year, and now all of a sudden you're playing the Dragons, it's raining, you're trailing 21-10.
On the road with a backup quarterback, not the recipe for winning normally.
Excuse me, Hutton did start, or Johnson did start last year. He looks comfortable in the pocket, throws over the middle, and here's Elias Arlington searching for the first down, and he's going to get it. That's a great effort, as DeAndre Taylor couldn't bring him down initially from behind.
Yeah, good point, Stephen. He's not without starting experience, and he's got a little size, right? He's a bigger guy, certainly. But when he steps up there to center stage, he seems pretty comfortable so far. Sure doesn't act rattled, I know that.
This has got to be a record. We're having a spotter that's 250 miles away. Thanks, Josh Deere, for all the information. I know you're dry. 9 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. Third quarter, good football game, especially Concordia St. Paul. Can tack on some points here as Carson Zark blew that play up as Johnson was looking for Keon Walters out of Lakeland, Florida. Watch this on the Midco replay.
Yeah, watch him jump the route here. Bam. Not far away from busting that thing all the way upfield.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. The stands have thinned out a little, but the ones that are here, it's also breezy downstairs. It's not exactly tropical conditions here at Shields Field. Johnson runs it himself, tries to side swipe Miles Baggett, and that goes nowhere. And Miles Baggett's trying to pump the crowd up.
Yeah, Miles Baggett stayed home, didn't he? Defended his part of the turf right there, and quickly there to corral the quarterback. Nice play by Baggett. 3rd down now, 3rd and 10 coming up for the Golden Bears.
Third and 10.5. Johnson tossing into the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Gustafson. Gustafson's applauding as if he knows the penalty is on the Dragons.
Yeah, there's a flag there, right, Stephen, in the end zone?
I know there have been a lot of flags thrown this game.
Yeah, I think they're tossed one, and that's probably why he looked pretty content despite an incomplete pass. Yep. Paskey, I believe, on the penalty.
That's an automatic.
First down.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why Gustafson was applauding.
Yes, they can seriously step back into this football game if they can finish off this drive, can't they?
Yes. Oh, I'm sure the 21-10, especially that first drive, and especially the way Concordia moved the ball on the last drive, even though they didn't get the field goal try, got Steve Lockway's attention. 1st and goal for Concordia from the 7. Ron Johnson in for Max Hutton. Throwing into the end zone, incomplete. That's good coverage by Michael Strand.
Yeah, Johnson got forced out flush to the left, acted as if he wanted to run for a while, then kind of stopped and really forced that pass in the back of the end zone. They're probably lucky it was merely incomplete. Dragons had it defended well, could have been picked off. You do not want to throw an interception right now if you're the Golden Bears.
2nd and 7. 3 receivers to the near side. Roll in the backfield next to Johnson, who has time. He'll throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Concordia St. Paul.
He was not alone, man. He had to fight off a couple of defenders that time. It's that man Gustafson. Big play guy comes up with a big play right there. No wonder they go to him. He is their #1 receiving threat. He delivers big time, and just like that now, the Golden Bears have closed within 5 with an extra point to come. Suddenly what appeared to be a relatively comfortable Dragon lead, although not completely secure, 21-10. That has changed quickly.
That's their 2nd string quarterback?
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive. Here's Schenderline for the extra point. Oh, good job by the holder, Metke. With a wet ball on a wet field, got a low snap, and they convert. We'll take a break. 8:04 remaining here, 3rd quarter. Concordia St. Paul has tightened things up here in the rain.
This is Dragons Live.
From the time you were little, bouncing off the walls, you were told, go do something. And so you did. Then one day you found yourself in a cap and gown. Now, go do something was an invitation. Or was it a challenge? Go with Midco. We connect you with powerful, innovative technology. That's the start. Your drive and vision do the rest. Go do something. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge. You and Midco. Let's go.
Jonas Schenderline about to kick it off. Grady Bresnahan standing a yard deep in the end zone. Schenderline again gets into it. Bresnahan will do the prudent thing and take a knee.
Well, Stephen, the Golden Bears jump back into this football game, marching 67 yards. It took 11 plays, 421. Johnson Ron Johnson, an 8-yard touchdown pass to Marcus Gustafson. The extra point followed. It is now 21-17, 8:04 left, quarter number 3.
The rain comes down harder. The plot thickens just a little bit more.
And again, that increases the likelihood of turnovers or mistakes. We've really only seen one. But the ball becomes a little bit more difficult to handle. It makes the passing game a little bit more tricky for both clubs.
Kabambi with the carry. Kelly Pierce, defensive end. Gilbert, Iowa, makes the tackle after a 3-yard pickup. It's 2nd and 7. If you're overly concerned about Austin Stone, we got the report from Alexis Kennedy. We saw Stone jogging back and forth. We see him again right now. But Steve Lockway has gone with Kabambi, who has it again and is looking for the first down, and Stone. This is the normal rotation.
Yeah, Kabambi out of Harrisburg, South Dakota, outside of Sioux Falls, carries up to the 36, and that's enough for a Dragon first down.
Here's Kabambi. He'll pick up 3 to the 39-yard line. The good thing about all this running is it's running the clock as well. The Dragons try to go hurry up on 2nd and 7. Carr looking things over. He has 2 receivers on each side. Again to the ground game, Kabambi. Into the secondary. Oh. And how slippery is that football? Kabambi lost it. One of the Golden Bears should have had it. And I think Kabambi jumped back on top of it.
Yeah, first of all, credit that Dragon offensive line. They popped that hole open right away, right? Kabambi, nothing fancy, right over left guard. Bolts up for the first down. Then fumbles. And look at that. Ball pops back to him.
Oh, Billy Brown is probably kicking himself right now because he should have had that football.
Yeah. I don't know if he even knew it was lying there. It just happened so quick. But Kabambi with a great reaction. After he fumbled, it was quick to pounce on it again, and it is instead another first down for the Dragons.
So it's 1st and 10. Here's Broughton. Gets a good block from Damon Gibson. He'll get taken out of bounds by Dion Wallace. We hit the 6-minute mark, 3rd quarter, 21-17. The Dragons lead it. Ron Johnson hit Marcus Gustafson at the 8:04 mark to make it 21-17. But now the Dragons are driving as Demetrius Carr once again looks to his left towards the sidelines. They go back to Broughton, and he's going to crawl to the 43-yard line. They're saying his knee wasn't down. This will be 3rd down and about 6 for the Dragons.
Gibson split out to the left. You mentioned his block before, but kind of quiet, Stephen, on the receiving end. Just 3 catches so far.
The Saints are here, huh? So next year it could be Drew Brees to Damon Gibson. How's that sound? 3rd and 6. To the ground goes Kabambi. Squirts through a hole, short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and about 3. I don't think Steve Lockway has a punt plan in place right now.
No, and they like
he does.
They like their place kicker, but not quite as much as the Golden Bears like theirs.
No.
Albuquerque's been a fine replacement this year, but admittedly wouldn't have quite the distance that the Golden Bears do, and so the Dragons will simply punt it away.
I think this is the right call. Concordia St. Paul, here they come. Paskey gets it away. It's a wobbler. Can he find the corner? No, but I think you're okay if you're the Dragons there. They get 20 yards on the net after the 40-yard punt by Paskey.
Yeah, and remember, they still, they have full confidence in their defensive unit. They have played quite well today, and they're going to force the Golden Bears, if they were to score, to go a full 80 yards. But again, this is a team with certainly heightened, increased interest and confidence right now after they came out with the first touchdown of the second half. So the Dragons still leading, but this thing is narrow, Stephen, 21-17.
And now with the rain, that's, in my opinion at least, in sports, that's the great equalizer. Concordia St. Paul just, I don't think they even realize it's raining. Johnson, roll. Grabbed by Rourke, couldn't take him down. Roll, goes past Zark, roll. Where are they going to mark him out? All the way down to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, even the rain couldn't do anything about that, could it? He belts off left tackle there. Watch him come around. Gets a little bit of blocking help, and then simply it is a race. Dragons miss an opportunity there. Finally, Ulrich, and who else is involved in that tackle, Stephen? 48-yard gain. Wow. 1st and 10 at the 32 of the Dragons.
Now they go to Shaq Johnson. Old Shaq might get a yard or two.
Boy, nothing seems to come easy for the Dragons at home, though, does it? 2 weeks ago, Southwest Minnesota State pinned that very painful loss in the Dragons here. And tonight, in something of a surprise, Concordia St. Paul, admittedly an underdog, played very well within 4 of the Dragons.
Johnson with all night. Completes it to Elias Arlington. He made sure he cradled that ball in before getting hit. And now all of a sudden, Concordia St. Paul has a 3rd and 2 here with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Dragons clinging to a 21-17 lead.
Yeah, and it looks like they've got kind of an endless supply of offensive options at this point, doesn't it? With Roll, they can run the ball well. This backup quarterback's been fine.
And he's going to keep it. He's going to get a first down. Boy, he got stuck by Malik Delbrun on the far sideline. There's a Golden Bear down, but it was Roll that was down, but he got back up, and they're putting the ball. Here comes Jim Hardy to explain things. I need an explanation.
5-yard penalty. That penalty will result in a first down.
It's Casey Paskey, so it's a first down either way.
Yeah, that takes any of the drama out of it, doesn't it? No sense worrying about a yard or two of first down easily with the penalty against the Dragons. So it is the 1st and 10. Suddenly they're at the Dragon 19-yard line.
Suddenly there are nervous fans downstairs. Roll being told where to line up. 3 receivers to the near side. Johnson, nothing. Not getting fooled that time was DeAndre Taylor.
Yeah, that play kind of fell apart right from the start. Didn't it look like kind of a faulty handoff? And I think Johnson just wanted to make sure they kept the ball. That play was aborted pretty quickly, but because of the poor exchange. But Johnson was able to secure it anyway. 2nd down and 12.
I don't think they expected DeAndre Taylor to be there either. Johnson throwing towards the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Elias Arlington. Big prizes is what we're known for at MSUM, and this year is no different. Come to Dragons Volleyball and Basketball this year and play the Valley Imports Video Lottery. Sign up at the door, win the game, pick your prize on the lottery board. You could win Dragon gear, big gift cards, or possibly one of 3 iPad Pros. Come to Volleyball and Basketball and play.
penalty. Automatic. First down.
Wow.
I can't even get a hot spot in without a penalty.
What do we got? A hold on the Dragons, and the pass really had no chance to succeed. The Dragons thought for a moment they had the Golden Bears in a 3rd and 12 situation. Instead, a penalty against the Dragons, automatic first down.
The video lottery is sponsored by Valley Imports. First down. Shaq Johnson grabbed, taken down inside the 10-yard line. He picks up 2. St. Cloud and Augustana resume their game, Scotty. 8:35 remaining, second quarter. Is going to be a long night for those two teams.
At St. Cloud, correct?
At St. Cloud.
Wow.
A little more thunder and we have no thunder and lightning here, just a steady rain. 2nd and 8, 1:07 remaining third quarter. Ron Johnson has a whole lot of daylight. Fumbles the ball. The Dragons have it. They fumble again, and the Dragons fall on top of it.
Knockworth's back there. Wow, now, they had marked originally that they gave it back to the Golden Bears, but it does in fact go to the Dragons.
Let's count the fumbles on this instant replay presented by Midco. Johnson probably should have gone down. He got drilled that time by Jerry Ray. Ray picked it up, Ray fumbled, and then Drew Lingle hopped on top of it.
So Ray caused it, picked it up, fumbled, but the Dragons get it back. But what a stop. He was moments away from going in the end zone to lifting Concordia to the lead. Instead, the Dragons, with perhaps their best stop of the year, they will take over 1st and 10 at their own 11. 54 seconds left in the soggy third quarter. 21-17 Dragons.
That play looked ugly from the get-go.
Wow.
That's the 11th penalty, accepted penalty,
yes,
against the Dragons. They've had a couple more.
Yeah, no turnovers, but these are 2, trust me. Too many mistakes there. The coaches will be less than satisfied with that when they take a look at the game film.
I told a friend of mine, the Dragons, well, they want to win the turnover. They're not worried about the turnover battle. It's 2-0, and that was, like you said, the biggest one of this early season. As a run play goes nowhere, it'll be 2nd and long. This reminded me of the Southwest game when the Dragons got that big punt return by Bresnahan, all the way down to the 15-yard line. In the first play, Carr threw a pick to Javarian Hatchet Johnson, and it just killed the Dragons' momentum as they were ready to score, just like Concordia was, and now they had to give it up.
Yeah, just how desperate are the Dragons for first down now to regain a little bit of their offensive footing and to get out of deep in this territory. They don't want to kick it away from here.
Literally and figuratively. Carr in trouble in the end zone, gets a block. On the far side, Grady Bresnahan just stuck his nose in front of Jackson Dobbs. Bresnahan doesn't win the weight battle there. You give him credit. As the third quarter is running out. The third quarter ends. We got a football game here in Moorhead. 21-17, the Dragons lead Concordia St. Paul.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
You always do this. You had a couple of pops in you and got cocky. Who's up for a game of wing roulette, you said? Because you thought it'd be funny to watch one of your friends get stuck with the hot one. But your friends, they got teriyaki, then spicy garlic, and then Asian zing. And now you're looking at the last one and you're thinking, my God, what have I done?
There's the scene, Scotty. Steve DeStacio, Larry Scott back with you from Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. 21-17 here in the pouring rain in Moorhead. This is a 3rd and long for the Dragons from their own 8-yard line. Demetrius Carr from his own end zone wants to put it up. Fires complete. Dan Grandy, does he have enough for the first down? It doesn't appear so. It's 4th down. The Dragons are going to have to boot this thing away.
Dicey stuff kicking right here, isn't it? With a wet ball against a pretty good rush. Now, of course, Concordia, really what they want to avoid is something like running into the kicker or inability to field a punt. But in theory, they ought to get the ball back in decent field position if things go their way.
Tanner's deep. Paskey gets run into. There's the flag. Tanner makes the fair catch. Now, is that going to be enough for the first down?
I think it might, and I just mentioned that you just simply can't do that.
Defense.
How careless can you be? You got a great shape coming up and you run right into the kicker.
And it was of the personal foul variety, so it is going to be a first down.
Yes, no excuse for that, you know.
You ready for this, Scotty? 8:35 remaining. Remember I told you they started in St. Cloud? Well, they stopped again. They've lost power at Husky Stadium.
Just give it up.
Now the power's back on, but still a lot of lightning. They might have to give that game up tonight.
Play it in the afternoon. Yeah, my word, you get what you bargained for playing at night down there.
So
that was, but it was really what a terrible mistake for the Golden Bears.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Dragons from their own 32-yard line. Carr will give it to Kabambi. Straight ahead, he's going to get flattened by a couple of Golden Bears.
Well, you look at the Dragons, a little, they've had some pretty good fortune lately, right? Moments ago, they stopped the guy who appeared to be scoring, fumbled heading into the end zone. Then moments later, you come up with the defensive stop after that. Then you run in the kicker, and you give the ball back to the Dragons again. So they have been cursed a little bit by some of their own mistakes have been particularly painful here in the 4th quarter for Concordia.
Second and 6 from the 36. Kabambi again, right up the middle, taken down. Billy Brown was in, a host of his friends, France Palamas. This will be 3rd down as the Dragons hustle to the line of scrimmage, needing 2 yards. Kabambi lowers his head and gets to the 41. He got a yard. It's 4th and 1.
And Concordia pulled the ball out afterwards, sprinted to the end zone. It was a little late. The ball was already dead. Now, we haven't seen much from Stone for a while. Now it appears we'll have 4th down. About 1. Looks like the Dragons are thinking about it, and I think that they're going to send the kicking unit in. Boy, it's got to be tempting there, but again, you don't really want to come up short and turn the ball over to Concordia at this point. A good kick ought to give you pretty good field position.
Tanner once again drops back deep. This is dicey stuff here. Paskey gets it off, an end-over-end wobbler that is down at the 26-yard line. A 33-yard kick, and the key is he got it off. He didn't fumble it himself.
Yeah, he got the kickoff. He doesn't ever seem to get much roll, does he?
No.
But they delivered, and I noticed that time Concordia, by and large, backed off the kick rush. They did have one man came up, but I think they had been burned before, learned a lesson. But they'll get the ball back, 1st and 10. Concordia University takes over at their 25-yard line, trailing 21-17. 12:26 left. 4th quarter here at Shields Field, Alex Nemzik Stadium.
You know who our forum newsmaker of the game might be? It might be the fans sitting downstairs in just these miserable conditions. Here's Johnson. diving forward as he was about to be decapitated by Michael Strand. Ducked underneath that would-be tackle and picked up a yard.
Yeah, nothing personal. You got to love your Dragons to sit out there now. And I think it's getting a little colder, too. I don't know. The elements were blessed to be inside, but it is raining a little bit, and certainly makes things a little bit more complicated for those on the field.
You thinking it's cold doesn't count because you had a jacket on last week and it was 88. Here goes Roll. Roll with a man to beat. He can't beat Darby Greggs, who makes a touchdown-saving tackle. 33 yards and a first down.
We were just talking player, Newsmaker, whatever. He's about at 160 yards already. One score on 18 carries. And boy, he has put some real life, real sizzle into this ground game for the Golden Bears. He's been impressive.
From the Dragon 40-yard line, 1st and 10. 2 receivers. They give it to Roll. He can't get away from Carson Zark, who makes a beautiful one-on-one tackle at the 40-yard line.
Absolutely right, Stephen. Beautiful one-on-one that time. He had a shot at Roll in the back, and he made the knockout tackle that time for a scant gain, if anything. They're going to list it at 2nd and 10 ball, nearing the 40-yard line.
Johnson wants to put it up, going long, and almost hits Alexis Kennedy. That wouldn't be nice. This is her first game, and she's doing terrific. It'll bring up 3rd and 10 for Concordia. Third and 10 for Concordia St. Paul. There aren't a whole heck of a lot of people here, but they're loud.
And they care.
Everybody went but the center. This will be an illegal procedure on Concordia.
9 penalties for the Golden Bears, 61 yards. The Dragons, we mentioned earlier, penalized 11 times for 92 yards. Turnovers, always important. 2 for the Golden Bears, none for the Dragons.
3rd and 15. Play clock at 10. Arlington in motion, 1 on the play clock, and Concordia St. Paul will take a timeout. So we'll take a break. 10:55 left to go. The Dragons lead at 21-17.
Are you someone who thinks car buying is a hassle? 9 out of 10 customers tell us the worst part about buying a car is the negotiation process. So we thought, let's get rid of it. Let's post our best price 24 hours a day for everyone to see and make the car buying experience more enjoyable. In fact, we took our salespeople off a commission pay plan. We paid them based on your satisfaction. And guess what happened? Happier customers. We guarantee it. Check it out at Valley Pre-Owned.
So here we go, 3rd and 15 for Concordia St. Paul. The Dragons bring 5. Johnson with time. Rolling to his right. Not throwing long, he has a man. Big play for Concordia St. Paul all the way down to the 5-yard line. That play was set up because he had a lot of time.
Yeah, but great play by Johnson. He kind of got flushed out to the right, as you mentioned, but he kind of kept his stride, kept his sights downfield. And then when he neared the boundary in front of his pals on the Concordia side, threw almost across the length of the field, wide open receiver. What a pitch and catch. 1st and 10 at the 5, and now Concordia in serious scoring shape.
I think it was Keon Walters. I know this is Roll, and he's going to get stopped by Miles Baggett. Baggett takes him down at the 6-yard line for a loss of a couple. So this will bring up 2nd and goal for Concordia St. Paul. Dicey stuff here in Moorhead in the rain as we tiptoe over the 10-minute mark left to go. Full house backfield as Johnson will operate under center. Johnson wants to put it up. He's in a whole boatload of trouble. Still throws into the end zone out of bounds. Darren Gibson Jr. acted as if he wasn't even being blocked as he got the pressure.
Yeah, he got chased back to about the 25-yard line when he unloaded. He was able, but barely, almost to get it to the end zone. As we look down on the running track below us, that rain, if anything, Stephen, has picked up, and it is certainly complicating things for the Golden Bears and the Dragons. 3rd down and 5.
Matt Bjork, tight end into the ball game. Johnson looking. That ball's nearly intercepted.
Boy, but that was poorly thrown, almost literally thrown to a Dragon, right? Good coverage down there. And
losing the ball.
Oh, they're lucky it was incomplete. Now what do you do? 4th down and 5. You know you got a deluxe kicker. But we're going to get a penalty, I think, Stephen, aren't we?
I didn't hear what.
They're putting more time on the clock or something.
Well, I know Doan has to come out. He lost the ball and lost his helmet. That's all Jim Hardy was telling us.
All right.
In case we didn't know the rule. So it'll be 4th down, and Jonas Schenderline is going to come in to try a field goal. Sam Medke is going to put it down at the 13. This will be a 23-yard field goal. Schenderline is 1 for 2 so far tonight. The one he missed was from 50. Another low snap and another great job by the punter, Medke. I heard it one time, the kickers are the best athletes. We'll take a break, 9:37. Left to go, it's the Dragons 21, Concordia St. Paul 20.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
So Jonas Schenderline, 23-yard field goal. 9 plays, 69 yards, 2:49 off the clock. That's not one, but 2 scoring drives. And remember, they went all the way down to the 1-yard line and fumbled. So this Concordia St. Paul offense right now in the second half behind Johnson is unstoppable.
Yeah, interesting with that call, that kick, that only brings you within 1, you're still behind. But I think what it does, it tells you they got full confidence in their defense, right? They really think they can stop the Dragons, that they'll get it back again, and they'll score, and it might be by a kick. That's all they would need now would be a field goal, of course. So it brings them within 1. Mainly they cap off the drive with something positive. You don't want to come up empty there.
Schenderline, Bresnahan from the 1, across the 10, has some room, 20, 25-30, made sure he held on to the football. The Dragons have not turned the ball over. They came into tonight, Steve Lockway said it, not me. I wasn't going to bring it up to the coach. Second worst in the country in turnover ratio coming into this game.
Yeah, he did mention that at a luncheon, that they were faced that dire of a situation. What's interesting here now, Concordia's offense has taken kind of center stage in the second half. 426 yards. The Dragons have been pretty quiet offensively for a while, Steve. 363. They love nothing better than a long drive, but you need to avoid the mistake as well.
Kabambi finished off by France Palamas, and it'll be 2nd and 1. Or, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. A lot of standing around right now as we're about to hit the 9-minute mark left in the ball game. The Dragons have just 85 yards here in the second half. Carr back to pass. Fires. Gibson. Incomplete. One of the officials threw his hat because Gibson went out of bounds and then came back in. You want to keep your hat on a night like tonight.
As we mentioned, just 3 catches for the All-America wideout, 24 yards. Meanwhile, Demetrius Carr, 16 of 21 in the air, 149 yards and a touchdown. And he has scrambled and ran for an additional 51 yards of offense as well.
You're never going to believe what's on the field.
Penalty?
This should be illegal touching.
Number 64 on the offense. That fall be declined.
Penalty, the illegal receiver.
It's Nathan Belisle, one of the linemen downfield.
Okay. Boy, look at that track and see the rain come pounding down now a little bit. It's anything but a drizzle out there right now, Stephen.
It's 3rd and 9. Demetrius back to pass. Fires downfield, and it's incomplete, and Concordia St. Paul is going to get the ball back.
Yeah, and again, the Dragons are electing to go from the air and not on the ground. Now, we don't know about the availability of stone, but the Golden Bears have an answer for that defensively. Put enough pressure on. The Dragons will be forced to kick it away and play some serious defense with 8:35 left.
And now another whistle. And what now? Paskey gets off a high, beautiful spiraling kick, and Tanner is going to grab it at the 22-yard line. A 45-yard punt with no return. And now if you're Concordia St. Paul, this is why you took the field goal.
Yeah, and nice numbers there for the Dragons, right? Nice punt, no yard, no return. Good catch that time, and you got to give the kick returner some credit for even handling the ball without a mistake. And they did, so the ball will be set up 1st and 10 at the 22. 1st and 10 for the Golden Bears, trailing 21-20. Wow, 8:28 left, fourth quarter.
Ron Johnson, who had not thrown the football coming into tonight. He was a starter last year, hadn't played this year, and he's doing a whale of a job leading Concordia to a couple scoring drives here in this second half with the injured Max Hutton out.
Yeah, 6 for 11, 90 yards through the air. That's good. Just one mistake, right?
Fumble.
When he kind of broke out of routine and was scrambling for what appeared to be a touchdown. Fumble at about the 1 yard line. Jerry Ray kind of blew that play up.
Johnson scrambles, gets taken down. Abe Rorick trying to stay dry. Good luck with that. It's 3rd down for Concordia St. Paul. From their own 27-yard line. Johnson sends 2 receivers to each side of him. He has Roll in the backfield. Johnson with time, throws underneath, incomplete. I don't think Elias Arlington would have had a first down as he was being chased by Drew Lingle.
He would have been a few yards shy anyway, but a nice pop at that time apparently by Lingle. And that shows you how difficult it is to even manufacture a few yards throwing the ball right now under these conditions. 7:27 left. Even that great kicker couldn't hit one from here though, and they'll have to punt it away.
Medkey is being asked to kick into the wind and the rain. Now another whistle. This is going to be a legal procedure against Concordia St. Paul. That just looked ugly from the get-go. So Medke's going to be backed up all the way back to his own 9-yard line. Medke with the boot, a beauty. It's a 40-yard kick. Bresnahan sideswipes a couple of Golden Bears. Looking for some running room. He's going to twist and turn, and an adventurous 3-yard return comes to an end at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, he just refuses to believe he can't turn that into something special, can he? Boy, what great persistence back there. First of all, he caught the ball well, and that's critical under these kind of conditions. So the Dragons will have the ball in good field position. 7:15 remaining, fourth quarter. Again, we mentioned that Concordia down by 1, but armed with one of the best kickers we've seen in a while. If they have the opportunity to get the ball back and pick up a few first downs, it could come down to the trusty leg of Schneider.
From the 41-yard line, it's a first down. Kabambi. Maybe a yard.
So well, we see Stone on the sideline, so he's not part of this right now. Colegrove isn't either. He's on crutches with a broken bone in his foot, so there isn't much, and Gray is out, so Kabambi's basically the last man standing back there.
Steve Lockwood told me they could use Tyler Eidsness.
Yeah, as an emergency, Tyler, the young man from chemistry major, brings great chemistry to this team. That's a kind of a traditional name, incidentally. His grandpa coached the Cobberns, and his dad was a coach of the Spuds.
You saw Steve Lockway on the Valley Imports coaches cam. Like you were saying, Scotty, he doesn't have a lot of options at running back right now.
No, and it's kind of a, injury attrition. Just each week it's another one or two, and they don't seem critical at the time. But after a while, you realize, whoa, we're down a few folks, and indeed they are. And your depth certainly gets kind of thinned out as the season goes on.
3rd and 5. Look across the field. You can see all the Concordia St. Paul Golden Bears jumping up and down, not just to keep warm. Looking for their defense to come up with a play. Demetrius throws. Incomplete.
Or drop.
Or, I agree with that call.
Yeah.
Dave Klunt right there makes the call. Gibson never had that football.
That's one of the few times the Dragons are thinking, hey, he dropped it. They're probably glad, in fact, that he didn't catch it and then fumble it. But indeed he didn't, and certainly, so there's that stop. You mentioned that the Golden Bears across the way imploring their teammates, come up with a stop. Give us one more shot at this thing. 5:47 left, and indeed it looks like they'll get the ball back.
Broken up by Polovas. A high snap, a great job by Paskey. It's not a terrific punt, but he got it off. You were saying he never gets a good hop on a punt. That might, there's one of them right there.
Well, the football gods probably owed him one, didn't they? But he got it away well, despite some pretty modest pressure, I suspect, from Concordia St. Paul. They didn't want to commit an egregious penalty at that point as they did earlier in the football game. So 5:39 left, Steve, and this is not quite what we expected, but this is some interesting and certainly wild NSIC football matchup.
1st and 10 for Concordia from the 17-yard line. 5:39 left. Johnson back with time. Looking for a lot. Doesn't get anything. He threw the ball behind Matt Lewin, a junior tight end out of Brookfield, Wisconsin.
Yeah, we mentioned how the Dragons excited to be home, play on the turf they like so much, Shields Field at Alec Nimzik Stadium. Well, the reality is that people coming to town seem to like this joint too, don't they? Southwest Minnesota State with a big ambush a couple of weeks ago, and tonight Concordia St. Paul played the Dragons very, very hard, trailing 21-20.
Here's a pass and a catch. Gabe Steed comes down with it. The sophomore out of Lowell, Michigan. DeAndre Taylor, Aaron Doan in the vicinity, but that's a good, anything's a good hookup in these conditions.
Yes, indeed, and a big one because it gave the Golden Bears the first down as well. Nice coverage. The Taylor was right there, but a good throw and catch.
A first down for the Golden Bears from their own 39-yard line. Johnson throws across the middle, incomplete. He was being pressured by Darren Gibson Jr. I'll never forget when we talked with Steve Lockway back in August, they love Gibson on defense.
Yes, they do, don't they? A young man out of Illinois, and he was not available last year for the Dragons, but they saw enough from him in the offseason. We heard that early on, that you'll like this guy, that he may very well be the Dragons' best defender as a freshman, and I think that's probably what it's turned into. Baggett would get some votes there as well.
Johnson in trouble. Baggett's going to get him for the sack. This will bring up 3rd and 11. Miles Baggett with his team leading 3rd sack this season. You can see the effort on the Midco instant replay.
Yeah, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but if in fact it comes up to a 4th down, you wonder how anxious they would be to kick it away and if they would go for it. But could be a moot point right now, 3rd and 11.
Johnson being pressured. Complete. But then buried by Darby Grangs, who makes another big play. Now it's 4th and 5. It's a little more interesting if you're Shannon Courier.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they can kick it away. I mean, if they knew they could stop the Dragons without a first down, but then they may not get the ball back in much different position they are right now, and so here it goes, Stephen. They're going to go for it, 4th and 5.
Not yet. I don't know why they stopped the clock. I know Dave Klunt can get a job as a busboy anytime he wants. You can see him in the lower right-hand part of your screen as he's doing a great job at wiping the football as if he was doing the dishes. Here comes an explanation as far as the latest Hardy huddle.
Well, maybe.
His microphone might be too soggy.
You don't say, Mr. Hardy.
They're trying to put 14 seconds on the play clock. And I don't think Steph here.
Nah, that's a shame. And a key play like this, and you stop the whole clock for. Not fair to either club.
No, they're still waiting for 14 seconds. Oh, okay. It was the game clock that stopped. Yeah. Okay. So they did the right thing. It would have cost the Dragons 15 yards. And if it would have been against Concordia, it would have been the same. 4th and 5 for the Golden Bears. More whistles.
God, let him play. Unless it's a timeout. Are they going to kick it away?
I think they are. Wow. I think this is the right play, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Medkey's been kicking it great against the wind. You said when Schenderline kicked the field goal that Shannon Courier entrusted his defense.
Yep.
The Dragons haven't scored this half.
They haven't hardly moved the ball.
No.
And
so
they
that's why I think this is the prudent play.
And they got to field it probably. We'll find out.
Medkey's been terrific tonight. Flags are down. Medkey's kick is away. Bresnahan, or Dan Grandy, makes a sliding
Yeah, the Grandy
catch.
man is in now instead of Bresnahan.
That was a Grandy catch.
Well, they trust him, and with good reason. Yeah, he made a sliding catch. Certainly did not want a turnover mistake at that point. What's the penalty? Is it on the offense? We'll find out. Apparently
Either way, it's going to be declined.
Still, the Dragons are not home free yet, are
No.
they, with 4 minutes to go. A nice stop that time forced Concordia to kick it away again, reluctantly, but they did. 21-20, the Dragons clinging to that 1-point lead. Remember, they led 21-10, I believe, at half. But the second half has belonged essentially to the Golden Bears. The Dragons, however, have been played without a turnover, and that has been to their credit, especially on a night like tonight.
So 1st and 10 after all that from the 32-yard line. Here's Kabambi, and he got a couple. Let's go downstairs quickly to Alexis Kennedy.
Hi guys, yeah, definitely really wet down here, but it is not getting the Dragons defense down. A defensive coordinator, Rob Hunt, said we got one more time out there, and he's like, defense wins games. Guys?
The offensive-minded and now defensive coordinator, Rob Hunt.
Yeah, it's a kind of a comforting thought for Dragon fans, though. Defense can win this game. They wouldn't have maybe talked in those glowing terms a few years ago.
2nd and 8. Shannon Courier's thinking the same thing. Again, Kabambi, this time with some running room. He'll get the first down across the 42 to the 43-yard line with 3:18 left to go. Dragon defense might not have to make one more stop.
They might not.
On the scoreboard, it says Concordia St. Paul has 2 timeouts left, so they might have taken a timeout when they were deciding whether to go for it on 4th and 5 or punt the ball away. It's 1st and 10 for the Dragons. It's been Jonathan Kabambi. High snap, Kabambi has it. Looking for some running room. He's got some running room. Kabambi making a statement here tonight. 8 more yards for Kabambi. He's over the 100-yard mark for the first time in his career.
Yeah, career night. And where would the Dragons be without him? We mentioned Austin Stone has not played hardly at all. I don't think he's played in the second half. Just 10 carries. Beyond that, of course, Colgrove and Gray are not even available. So they are down to Kabambi, and he's putting the Dragons on his back right now.
Boy, Austin Stone has 2 touchdowns, but it's been Jonathan Kabambi that's been saving the Dragons bacon here in the second half. Looking for the first down, searching for the stick. He's going to come up a yard short. And this is going to be 3rd and 1. We're under 2 minutes left to go.
Critical sequence now, 1:43, clock running. First down here, but essentially secure the win for the Dragons, although the Golden Bears do have a couple timeouts to play with.
Devin Homer in the ball game is an H-back for the Dragons. Kabambi again. On 2nd and 3rd effort, he's going to get the first down.
Yes, he is.
That might do it. There's a Golden Bear that's down on the field. Boy, Jonathan Kabambi, limited action. He was behind when it came to the depth chart this season, the injured Golden Bears. Franz Palamas. Herman Gray, that's all we heard. Herman Gray, wait a minute, there was Austin Stone. He had a pretty good year last year. Denver Colgrove, where was Jonathan Kabambi? Now, he's number 1 tonight.
Yeah, he went from others receiving votes, right?
Yep.
To probably the player of the game because he has delivered big time in the second half. And let's be honest, he has been really the heart and soul of the Dragon offense here in the second half. MSU limited to 391 yards total offense, and a huge bulk of those, of course, came in the first 2 quarters of this football game. But again, Stephen, turnover is so important. The Dragons without a turnover tonight under the soggy and very difficult situation to operate under. So that's been a big factor for the Dragons as well. But a gallant effort so far for the Golden Bears. It could come up a little bit shy, but they came to play so far. They're not done because there's a minute 16 to go, but right now things seem to tilt in advantage of the Dragons.
I guess what bothers me about the Dragons right now, Scotty, is they're getting banged up.
They're getting banged up, and certainly this is quite a test, and there are other challenges ahead. Let's be honest, there are a few games looming that most people thought would be more difficult than Concordia of St. Paul. You'd find you wouldn't get that argument out of the Dragons tonight, but certainly when you look to St. Cloud and maybe Duluth and Bemidji and others, you think that's going to be more of a challenge. But this has been a challenge indeed tonight against these guys.
3 on the play clock. They give it to Kabambi. Concordia St. Paul's looking for the football. Kabambi's going to pick up another 10 yards, and whether they need it or not, here's Concordia St. Paul taking their first time out. We'll take a quick break. 28 seconds left to go. The Dragons are about to win.
This is Dragons Live.
There is a place where teaching matters, where faculty know your name and guide you through personal moments of discovery, where new information leads to life-changing thoughts and conclusions, where you see the world and yourself in new ways. You will be challenged to think and to think again. You may achieve all of your original goals or discover something altogether different. At Minnesota State University Moorhead, you will find your life transformed.
Again, there's the scene here at Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. You can see the rain that has wreaked havoc here in Moorhead since, midway through the second quarter. I don't know about you, but this has been a boatload of fun tonight.
Yeah, you're kind of playing in front of friends and relatives right now, but they are very excited over what they are seeing, and I think they have been very, very impressed and satisfied with the Dragons' rock-solid performance in the second half. They haven't got a lot of things done in offense, but man, they've stood the test on defense, come up with the big plays here when they've needed it.
Demetrius Carr takes a knee. Shannon Courier is going to take a timeout. Josh Deere just sent me a little stat. The only other loss that Concordia St. Paul has suffered here. Now, it's not as if they played every year since 1900. They joined the league in 2000, where they did used to rotate and play here every other year. Now they play here every 4 years. But the 6-5 season in 2006 under Damon Tomeo was the last time the Dragons beat Concordia here, only by 2.
Yeah, I wonder if Josh will go along with us when we tell him, well, look at the Dragons. 2 years ago, they waxed them at St. Paul. I guess they beat them. And tonight they kept, 21-20. So if you're a Golden Bear fan, you got to think, man, oh man, how close you come up empty the last 2 times games with the Dragons that literally have gone down to the final seconds of the football game. But they have been awfully impressive tonight. 453 yards of offense for the Golden Bears, running it, throwing it, and they have certainly answered all the challenges that the Dragons have put out. With the one mistake, they just simply couldn't get the ball back one more time. Again, they're armed with a marvelous kicker, and they wanted so desperately to give him one more opportunity to win the game, but I don't think it'll happen.
Tonight should be the night that Steve Lockway would want the water bucket to be dumped on him, because
he might as well
already
now.
Soaking wet. There the Dragons celebrate, and maybe they thought this would be a little easier, but it wasn't, and this was still a much-needed victory for the Dragons.
Well, there's a little sense of relief, let's be honest, in here too, because I don't think they expected this today, but it's a victory that they desperately needed, and they did the things they had to do. They came up with the right answers, particularly on defense, and then with that marvelous drive at the end. That's going to rate Steve as one of the great drives in the Lockway era, even though it didn't get a touchdown. They didn't need that. They just needed to keep the ball away from the Golden Bears one last time, and they were able to do that.
Yeah, this is going to be hard for Concordia St. Paul to travel 4 hours home, but Either way, it was the Dragons' victory, 21-20. Let's go downstairs one more time to Alexis Kennedy.
Hi guys, Alexis Kennedy here, joined by head coach Steve Lockway. Close, a very cold, a very wet game. How did you guys capitalize? What did your players do to secure this win?
Well, I think in the end we're just able to take care of the football down the stretch. You know, we didn't have the turnovers that we had in the past. Rain got it a little crazy, managed to hold on. Thank goodness we played a good first half, put ourselves in position to lead. Just sometimes you just got to hang on. You got to find wins where you can find them.
And how does it feel to be able to redeem yourself at home after a couple losses here?
Well, it's always good to get a win. Doesn't matter what they look like. At the end of the day, wins are wins. These kids work really hard, and we're going to enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye, guys.
All right, Alexis, thank you very much. A hard-earned victory for MSU Moorhead. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll talk with quarterback coach Chase Montplaisir about this victory. You're watching live coverage of Dragons football on WDAY's Extra. Welcome back to Soggy Shields Field at Alex Nemzik Stadium. Steve DeStacio now joined by Dragon quarterback coach Chase Montplaisir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why was this just difficult because of the elements or difficult because of Concordia St. Paul?
I think there's a couple pieces. You know, I thought it took away the passing game for us in the second half with the elements. We had to run the ball, and they knew that. They were able to pack the box a little bit, slant in, take away our downhill running game. We just had a couple drives stall out there in the second half in plus territory too as well. So we got to be able to finish those drives. But I thought they played physical. I'll give them credit. They played a good physical football game. But I think our defense at the end of the day stepped up, made a couple plays when they needed to make them down on the goal line, and we hang on. We'll take it. It's a win.
Two other quickies. Number one, give us the update of the condition of Austin Stone.
It was an ankle, so I think we had him in our back pocket if we needed him, but it was more precautionary just to keep him out of the game and make sure that nothing else worse happened. And I thought John ran the ball hard, and so we were comfortable with him.
Perfect segues. We're joined by Dragon quarterback coach Chase Montplaisir. Jonathan Kabambi, 23 carries, 120 yards, a lot of them gobbled up in the second half with Austin Stone out. Did you know Jonathan Kabambi was capable of this?
Yeah, he's an explosive kid. He's a hard runner. So when he gets downhill and get going, he's tough to tackle. And so we knew there was something there. It was just getting him on the field and getting him a chance to burst out. And when you get into a physical, hard-nosed weather game like this, it's the kind of game for John. And I think we were really pleased with the way he ran the football.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Dragon assistant coach Chase Montplaisir joining us up here in the booth. We'll take one more timeout. We'll come back with second half stats, highlights, analysis, and we'll put a ribbon on this soggy night. The Dragons are victors, 21-20.
Heading to Fargo Moorhead to get away and have a little fun? Book your room at the highly rated Microtel Inn & Suites. It's conveniently located just off 8th Street and I-94. Clean rooms and all the amenities you need to relax and recharge after a fun day out. Plus, when you wake up, you can enjoy a free hot breakfast. What are you waiting for? Book your room today at the Microtel Inn & Suites in Moorhead. Call 218-284-4022 or visit microtelmoorhead.com.
All right, Scotty, the Dragons win 21-20 here. Is it fair to say that do you believe Concordia St. Paul outplayed the Dragons here tonight, or you just look at the scoreboard?
Well, they surely did in the second half. They were the more dominant football team. The Dragons did enough, and especially on their final series, but they had difficulty moving the football, and I think that's reflective of the 3 catches for Gibson. When you see that, that's particularly eye-catching, I think. So credit the Golden Bears. They had more offense, and it came down to one play. If their quarterback doesn't fumble, they probably win the football game. And, if you look back, the Dragons really offensively didn't seriously challenge in the second half. But regardless, they did enough. They won the football game 21-20. That's a victory they needed, and certainly a defeat that they could not have handled. That would have been a very, very painful loss. Now that they're back 2-2 and kind of regained their footing a little bit, and chasing after teams in the north. But it was not without some anxious moments, and I'm not so sure many people saw that coming, to be honest.
So let me get you out of here on this. The Dragons in the north. We were told a month ago that the Dragons were a good football team. 2-2, sandwiched between these victories were a couple of tough losses here at home against Southwest and at Winona last week. What are your feelings about the Dragons after week 4?
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting as you look down the road, too. As I mentioned, I don't think the Minnesota Duluth is quite the ominous team that they normally are. However, Bemidji State, St. Cloud State will present challenges, perhaps Northern State. And so there will be some tests to come, but I think the Dragons might have been through the toughest part of their schedule. But again, another thing you mentioned, kind of quietly without noticing that injuries are beginning to kind of take a toll. The Dragon roster is getting thinned a little bit every game, and the Dragons could pay for that down the road a little bit as well. So there are further tests ahead. I think it's important today. The Dragons will celebrate this one. Maybe it's more of a relief than a victory. I don't know, but it is important. They got by this test. That's what matters. And it's certainly starting tomorrow morning. They can begin their full attention toward next week when they go down to Aberdeen to play Northern State.
All right, Scotty, you want to watch your Hawkeyes?
I'll try.
Go root them on. All right. One more time out, and we'll come back and we'll do recap, stats, highlights, and the rest of it. The Dragons win 21-20.
Are you someone who thinks car buying is a hassle? 9 out of 10 customers tell us the worst part about buying a car is the negotiation process. So we thought, let's get rid of it. Let's post our best price 24 hours a day for everyone to see and make the car buying experience more enjoyable. In fact, we took our salespeople off a commission pay plan. We paid them based on your satisfaction. And guess what happened? Happier customers. We guarantee it. Check it out at Valley Pre-Owned.
All right, you see the umbrellas out here. You see Denver Colgrove. Let's do the second half stats. The Dragons led this thing 21-20 going into the second half, but it was all Concordia behind backup quarterback. Starter last year, Ron Johnson. He hits Marcus Gustafson here. 8 yards out, makes it 21-17. Jonas Schenderline would hit a field goal to make it 21-20. Concordia St. Paul was about to take the lead until Jerry Ray popped Ron Johnson right there. Ray, just for good measure, recovered the fumble, coughed it up himself, but Drew Lingle grabbed it. The Dragons win 21-20. They get outgained 453 yards to 395, but maybe the biggest number out of all this, besides the score, was that number at the bottom right-hand corner. The Dragons came in to tonight second worst, tied for second worst in the NCAA Division II in turnover margin. They won the margin tonight 2-0. Let's take a look at our Moorhead Public Service electrifying play of the game, and I believe it's a replay of a play that you just saw, and it is. Again, the Bears about to take the lead. They had the momentum. Ron Johnson lowered his head, and Jerry Ray makes the pop, and the Dragon defense bent but didn't break at the goal line, and they end up winning this game. That's our electrifying play of the game, presented by Moorhead Public Service, who reminds you that appliances and home electronics account for about 20% of your energy bill. Consider updating these items by shopping for Energy Star certified appliances and electronics, and turn them off when they're not in use. For more energy-saving tips, log on to brightenergysolutions.com. Saving energy, saving money. Our newsmaker of the game, we were talking about it, and maybe it was going to be Austin Stone with his 2 touchdown rushes, but how about Jonathan Kabambi here catching the ball out of the backfield, but it's what he did rushing. 23 carries, 120 yards, and he helped milk the clock away in the final moments. Jonathan Kabambi, our newsmaker of the game, presented by the Forum of Fargo Moorhead. Call 241-5445 today to get the Forum of Fargo Moorhead delivered tomorrow. That's going to do it for our presentation of Dragons football here on WDAY's Extra. We thank you for watching us, and we remind you that we're on next week, an audio-only webcast from Aberdeen, South Dakota, 2:15 pregame report, 2:30 kickoff. The Dragons open up Northern Sun North play against Northern State. My producer has been John Webking, director Alex Nelson. For everybody at Dragons Live who did a great job, especially here in the elements, Steve DeStacio saying so long from Nemzik. The Dragons are winners, 21-20.